We are live.
What's up, y'all?
Up full party here tonight.
Let's go. Let's go.
Right,
Kirby?
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Cats and Rats After Dark live stream live on
Episode
YouTube. Guess what? I got to do Kirby's job because I'm carrying
I don't know
everything
what he's
around
doing.
here. Call me Nick Lidstrom.
I'm trying to look at the chat here.
There's no one in the...
Okay, you know what? I think he's a little bit upset that Brandon Montour is not coming back tonight.
Well, that's what Cody just told me before air.
We're
I'm trying to get...
We're a minute in. He's already on my buttons, dog.
Not touching anything. I'm not hitting any buttons.
Good.
Okay.
Stay in you too, Nick. I see you down there.
I'm not pressing any buttons.
How you doing, Jack?
How's it going, Jack? Jack led us on tonight on our post.
He's the first one here, Jack.
Panthers victorious over the Senators. Jack, great opening call to our post-game show tonight.
So,
I mean, what a game! But we're here to talk around the NHL. Four Nations right around the corner. Heck, it's this week technically.
yeah, man, I can't wait.
Best on
Kirby
best
and I are gonna do the live stream on Thursday.
Yep.
So that'll be the Finland USA game. I'll be actually doing the live stream on my own on my channel. So if you guys want to watch during the Super Bowl or jump on, by all means, go ahead and do so. I'll be streaming live during the Super Bowl. We all know that me and Nick are Cowboy fans, so
Kirby
this one's either gonna hurt.
It better not hurt.
Or it's gonna be okay.
Because
we don't have to hear it from the Eagle fans.
I'm not gonna lie. Wouldn't mind having another phone call with Nick when he's crashing out about the Cowboys.
You know how much it takes for me to root for the Chiefs, and yet here we are again. I don't think
Patriots and Tom
Kirby,
Brady.
you ain't got to say hey everyone twice in the chat.
I was visiting both chats, so I'm set up here tonight. I got the chat going here.
Kirby's dialed in.
Okay, but once everyone sees it twice, yeah. But we're gonna start off tonight as The Athletic has released the yearly player poll, and one of the questions on it this year was, what team would be on the top of your no trade list?
Yeah, and it's a pretty interesting poll because I didn't know it was just a player poll. So let's kind of get your guys' opinion on, because I honestly think, I would not have thought that Winnipeg would have been at the top.
They would have been one of my first guesses.
Really?
Because Winnipeg's
before
like
Buffalo.
This is what I was telling Caesar. Go ahead, Cody.
Winnipeg's like Siberia. It's just cold, as Vince says.
Surprised not to see the Islanders on there. I feel like they're just.
I'm surprised the Rangers are on there.
But get back to the Winnipeg part, Cody. Even though they're the top team in the NHL, they still are first. In
this is out of 82 responses. Out of 82 players responded.
But like my first pick would have been Buffalo. I can't lie. Buffalo, Anaheim would have been up there for me.
No, Anaheim would be the opposite on this poll when they were like going well with Pronger, Niedermeyer, Perry, Getzlaff. But a lot of people are basing this now on like, where can you win, right? Where Winnipeg, they're getting at the other side of the
Winnipeg's just purely location.
Because I think if Buffalo was better, Cody, I don't think they would be second last or second most least desirable. If they were a good hockey team, I don't think they would fit.
Yeah. Look who's for Calgary, the other version of Siberia.
Now, Calgary, if you look at the other athletic polls, give me a break. We got Chinooks. It's warm weather here. The problem with them is they've got old facilities, old rink. A lot of that plays into some of this player polls too, and where they were supposed to be and projected this year as well. So I think that plays into it a lot, Cody. When they get the new rink, they're going to have the nicest rink, top 3 in the league. I think they're not going to be in
Jack,
that anymore.
Jack raises a pretty good point with the Islanders, saying they are closest to the largest media market in the U.S., and they do have a new arena.
Yeah, that is true. Great point, Jack.
I mean,
And the players, I guess, didn't like it in Brooklyn when they relocated there, and then they went back.
no one liked it in Brooklyn
because of the commute for practices and games. I believe the young.
I missed the random car that used to be in the background of those games.
Very European.
Like, bro, Nick, you got to say something here, dog.
Well, I think the Islanders would be towards the top. Winnipeg, I mean, what price do you put on winning? Obviously, they're one of the best teams in the NHL.
They would only be on my
middle of nowhere, but it really depends. I know Jack says USB Arena is unreal. Again, I just think that with Lou Lamoriello, they're just going absolutely nowhere.
So direction of the team plays into this a bit.
Yeah, for me at least. I mean, Buffalo, like I agree with what you said, Kirby. I mean, if they weren't as bad as they were, they wouldn't probably be up towards the top.
I mean, they're absolute.
I think even though, like, again, winning solves a lot, except if you're Winnipeg, obviously, unfortunately. So I would probably put the Islanders up there. San Jose.
So you guys would still have Winnipeg at number one? I mean,
I wouldn't.
Winnipeg wouldn't be my
out of the bottom.
Here's what I'll say. If, like, let's say I sign a deal for 5 years and I have a 18 no trade, Winnipeg would be on my no trade. But if I'm a pending UFA rental, then I would go to Winnipeg.
Cody, what is your main 2-3 reasons why before we get to what Caesar has for us?
Winnipeg?
Yeah.
1, middle absolute nowhere. 2, absolute Siberia, basically.
Jeez.
And 3, the relocation rumors are starting to pop up again for Winnipeg.
So you think that plays into it, the players this point? I don't think it's that far.
I think Siberia is the number one part of it.
I agree with what Cody said. If I was a rental trade deadline thing pending,
I'd go there 100%.
100%, I'd go to Winnipeg.
I'd go there. My family wouldn't, but I'd go there.
Right, but Buffalo probably be on the top of my list, right there with the Islanders, especially if I'm signing a new deal. Right, they'd probably immediately be on my trade list.
Would you guys say, like, maybe 10 years ago, Florida would be on this list?
Oh, Florida would be number like 1, 2, 3. I don't know.
And people can't believe to hear that, right, Cody, that are new fans to the Panthers, but they would definitely be bottom.
Like, Florida's become one of the most unattractive, went from one of the most unattractive places to one of the most attractive places.
Yeah, total flip. And we're going to get to that at the end of the podcast with that bracket that we're going to talk about.
Because all we had was, hey, it's sunny. Come on down.
Come down and retire.
That was it. And that's why I hate the damn they have no state income tax. They have it easy. Shut up. We couldn't get guys down here for the longest.
And that's where people liked us, Cody, just pushing us down.
Yeah.
We had to pay Anton Stroman $5.5 million to come down here.
Philippe Kuba, anyone?
Like what? He got like what, a 4x4?
Something like that.
Like, out of my face with that. But
so, Caesar, you have something to counteract that with.
Yeah, so I was trying to present it here.
Jack with a nice comment. Ownership has changed, indeed. Ownership has changed, learned from their mistakes as well. All right. But Jesse Pollock, resident Jets fan, says, well, he's a Jets fan. Of course he's going to be a homer. Says, and I quote, The Athletic posted their anonymous player poll, and surprise, surprise, guess which franchise popped up as the number one no trade list team? It's funny. Players don't seem to want to go to Winnipeg, but you know what? They also don't seem to want to leave there either. Connor, Hellebuck, Mark Scheifele, and then Kyle Connor, Josh Morrissey, Nikolai Ehlers, Niederreiter, Adam Lowry. All these players chose to stay in Winnipeg at a very reasonable cap hits, most of them with term, too. Unlike a handful of players from a different Canadian team who opted for some of the most expensive 5 to 6 year deals in the league, a.k.a. the Leafs. Not to mention, the Jets are the best team in the NHL right now as a player, especially with a relatively reasonable salary. Winnipeg is affordable and an ideal place to raise a family. I grew up there and can confirm. The weather's cold, so what? You get to travel all over North America on the road. Toronto has been frigid this winter, and yes, we do have an airport, and it's a damn good one.
I've been to the airport. It's very nice.
I travel I'd rather travel through a small airport that takes 10 minutes to get into and out of than a big nightmare airport that takes hours. Thank you for listening and go just go. I feel like there's a lot of shade to Toronto in there.
Nick, what do you have to say about that? It is. What do you have to say about that airport part there, Nick, getting in and out of?
Well, I've never been to Winnipeg. I don't have any plans to go, so hate to.
But you've been to a lot of airports, so what do you like to say on that? Get smaller airports?
Well, I hate airports in general, right? So I think he's got a point, but I'm still not going to Winnipeg. It doesn't really matter unless it's like a 1-year thing, right? So I guess he has a point.
I've only been there for a layover, so that's all I'll say. Nice piano bar.
Did they have any good restaurants in there?
I didn't get a chance to eat the restaurants. Piano bar. The guy was playing Michael Myers' theme song, Halloween. I heard it from all the way across the airport. I tracked him down and I tipped him. I said, "Great job."
He played Michael Myers'
Halloween
song?
in the middle of the summer.
All right, I changed my mind. Winnipeg's at the top of my trade list. If you got playing serial killer theme songs in the damn airport,
and I came all the way across.
Who the hell requests that?
I don't know. It was the middle of summer. That was the weird part.
Okay, somebody needs to fight that person because there's no way you're walking up to someone on a piano and like, hey, play Michael Myers' theme song.
You would literally airport other than that, Kirby?
What's better than that? Curb Your Enthusiasm.
That'd be a great episode, wouldn't it?
Larry David might have burnt down the entirety of
I don't think Larry David knows what Winnipeg is.
I don't even know how to spell it. Like
I didn't know some people knew who the Florida Panthers were after tonight's game, but I digress. Go ahead.
Who doesn't know who we are at this point?
The drum, anyways. Shout out to our guy John Acosta. I wonder if he could have played the saxophone or the flute or something.
I could play the saxophone. I play saxophone. So
you could have done that? The national anthems?
The national anthem, yeah, I could have.
Oh, wow.
Kirby, when you finally get down to Florida.
Episode 4, guys. Episode 4.
When you finally get down to Florida, Kirby, can you sing the national anthem for us?
I'm not singing. I'm not
all the way down from Calgary. You got to sing.
I
got to make it a memorable trip.
You got to wear your
play a little bit of the guitar.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah, you got to wear your beret jersey when you do it, Kirby.
Right. And then we're gonna run you quick upstairs, and then you're gonna bang the drum.
Drum.
Right away.
I don't know.
Jack says play Careless Whisper or nothing. I agree with that.
I can play Careless Whisper. I can play it.
There we go.
It was a bastard to learn, but I know how to play it.
So also on the athletic poll, I don't know if Caesar has in front of him, but Paul Maurice finished second for
the coach you would most want to play for. John Cooper was number 1. And
who's he coaching, Cody, this week?
Pretty much Reinhardt and Bennett. Team Canada.
Oh.
Do it live? Yeah, no. I'd screw up if I did it live. But it's interesting because, like, I think Cooper was 1, Maurice was 2, and
I don't know who after that.
Brindamore may have been 3.
I think wasn't Brindamore on both lists?
Yeah, like coaches, like I would play for it.
They didn't want to play for him because one guy said, didn't he say he's in better shape than me?
Probably.
Really? I didn't see
the
that.
anonymous poll, right?
The workouts are probably a little bit crazy.
Or he works out harder than me. It was one or the other.
Is that why Ranton is not going to re-sign there?
These guys are having second thoughts.
I've been told all the time you're not to overreact at that trade. Kirby's been telling me not to overreact because that's what you.
This is what Cody was saying. Yeah.
I don't know. 2 points in 6 games. Not off to a great start.
Carolina could give a damn what he does in the regular season. He needs
how
to do.
How Cody bet on Natchez when he calls them the light switch, and say they're gonna? How could Cody take that side, Nick? He can't.
No, of course not.
Yeah, but I'm not wrong when I call him a light.
Go off at some point. Not a good way.
Look, the light switch has been on ever since he got there. I mean, he's playing with Nathan McKinnon. Like the light switch better be on.
Or McKinnon's gonna put him up against the wall.
Or he's gonna play with Casey Middlestat.
Or he moves down the lineup, which is more likely.
Like, I mean, I think I'd rather play with Nathan McKinnon than Casey.
We'll see if he can maintain that. But I think Ranton is a top 15 to top 25 player in the league. I do.
Yeah, but it's funny how he can't score the minute he gets traded to Carolina.
You got to adjust to a different system.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I don't know. He's probably not coming back in the offseason. Wouldn't that be something? Back-to-back off seasons, they go all in finally.
Both of them. Carolina would be in such a bad spot.
I don't blame them for it though.
But
this time, I think they wanted to turn out better than the Gensel situation, which I think they're probably thinking that.
Well, that Gensel to Tampa Bay thing came out of nowhere. too. So
But they pivoted good, and I told Cody that in the offseason. Like, I don't think Tampa's going to be as rough shape as people think they're going to be. And I know Cody had them in the wild card, but I thought Gensel would be good. I didn't think he would be that good on the power play to start. He has double-digit goals already, right, Cody?
Something like that.
on the power play for Tampa.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I found it insane that people were calling Tampa to be out of the playoffs. No, I'm not coming out because
They've been in a battle here, though. They've been in a battle here.
Oh no, they've been in a battle, but to
Yeah.
say but they're like in a, they're more like they're gonna make the playoffs because they're on the right side of the battle, and like our other boy Vince here has been trying to call Victor Hedman's decline for like the last like 2 years now. Hadn't happened yet. Like I don't know, but like let's see, they're third in the division with 64 points. They're pretty much going to be. I think they're not going to move from that spot for the rest of the year.
No, I don't think so. And obviously,
unless Vasi gets hurt.
Yeah, I saw a report from Elliot Friedman. They could be on Alex Tuck if Buffalo decides to move him. That would be a good move for them, I think.
They need
what is he pending UFA?
No, I think he has another year, or I don't even know.
It's cost efficient for them. I think he's not even making $5 million. That'd be a really.
But
nice
I think Buffalo really likes Tuck.
Yeah, who knows what they could get for him though. That would be.
There's been a report. I don't know where it was from, but I do remember reading it off Twitter that Kevin Adams is very attached to certain players.
Really?
Yeah, apparently in his mind, Matthias Samuelsson is as close to an untouchable as like Tage Thompson or Rasmus Dahlin.
That's Kirby's guy right there, Matthias Samuelsson. He loves Matthias Samuelsson.
Analytics community's fanboy. I haven't heard much from him this year.
He's a defenseman, Kirby.
That's one of the worst contracts. That one.
It's so weird how everything just fallen apart this year. Like they were talking about like playoffs last year with Devin Levi, and now it's like, and they've gotten the goaltending they've needed the last year and a half, 2 years, right?
I had been a wild card spot last year, not this year.
I mean, but everybody thought they did the rebuild master, like unbelievably, right? Like they got Tage Thompson, Alex Tuck, they got all these other pieces, and then it's just Dylan Cousins has been terrible this year for them. And I think UPL's still been pretty good, right?
They've been fine.
Yeah, like the goaltending, like that was the big question mark. Remember 2 off seasons ago or a year and a half ago, everybody's like, "Oh, if Devin Levi is the dark horse Calder guy, then they're making the playoffs." And UPL, I think, exceeded everybody's expectations. And then
because the year they missed the playoffs by a point, they were scoring 5 goals but letting in 6.
Yeah, it's flipped.
Now the
UPL hasn't been great. The save percentage isn't good for UPL, but who knows, right? They got James Reimer. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, James. Oh wow. Like they have and Levi's been mostly in Rochester.
Yeah, he hasn't really done much. The one guy I really like on their team is Peterka. I mean, he might be their best player. I think he is just unbelievable. And I know Thompson had a good year, but Peterka.
I'm an Owen Power guy.
Yeah, he's been really good this year too. There's been some trade talk surrounding him though, right?
Who?
Power.
I don't think it's Power. It's Byram that has the trade.
Byram. I think Power's come up in a couple different trade talks.
Maybe stupid to move him, to be honest.
With the Pedersen rumors in Vancouver.
How many years left does he have in a contract?
I think
he just signed 7. He just signed an 8-year deal.
Yeah.
I don't see
Wow.
it.
Wow.
If Power is
that would be my first or second move from Buffalo's side.
Okay.
That would be down the road.
Look at Jack right here. If I could have one random right-handed D-man, it'd be Michael Kesselring. Curtis,
like to what level? Like top 4, sure.
If I could have any random right-handed defenseman, I'd probably go with.
I like
Quinn Hughes.
We could get Noah Dobson, Kirby.
Yeah, we get into that.
That would be an unbelievable
that
dream.
blew up on Twitter this
week. What's next up on the docket here?
Yeah, so I was kind of going to ask you guys, who do you think is more valuable this year as far as maybe MVP? Could you see Connor McDavid or maybe Draisaitl? Draisaitl's got more goals.
Draisaitl.
But you can argue that McDavid's getting the same amount of point streak as Draisaitl per game.
Draisaitl.
I don't know. It's the same.
Up the per game numbers, but
I saw a tweet. It's like he had 41 goals all of last year.
So,
and
yeah, he's almost surpassed of last year's goal.
He's almost surpassed last year's goal.
Yeah, he has a 5th of their goals this year.
Yeah, I mean it's
38 goals first in the NHL, points first in for now,
Yep.
Jackie. Even strength goals 28. Even strength points 59. Game winning goals 9, which is pretty incredible. Game tying goals and go ahead points 47, which is first. So like literally every category is in first. So I mean, and he scores over 21% of Edmonton's goals, and that's insane. He's having a monster year.
And I think he scored in the Colorado game. That might not be included.
He scored twice in the Colorado game.
No, so add that to there. I just wanted to share that earlier in the week because I thought it was a great tweet by Jackie Redmond to show like the deeper numbers there for Leon Draisaitl, where he ranks within the NHL.
Especially some of the guys that they lost, like McLeod and Fogle in the offseason, and the guys they brought in to replace him, like Henrique. I know they re-signed him. He's been awful. Jeff Skinner hasn't really worked out that well. Who's the other guy they brought in? Arvidsson. I don't know how well he's been doing, but
he started really slow.
Like the depth's always been an issue for Edmonton. You see what they did last year in their playoff run. We saw firsthand the depth come through for them.
They're getting more goals from Connor Brown, though. He went like 42 games without scoring last year.
That was, and then he had a great playoff run, and they re-signed him. But
yeah, great playoff run. He's still in our freaking nightmares.
Dude, and him and Matthias Janmark. Oh my gosh,
Fogle because he got a lot of money in LA.
Was that? Ardvinsson has been miserable, Jack says. Okay, I haven't really been watching.
And he's been injured too, but he's not been good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think, especially with how Fogle's playing this year, how McLeod's playing this year, you take a look at some of the guys they brought in. Henrique, I know everybody thought
those guys that they had.
Yeah. Well, last year, some of the guys they had last year, I mean, and that was a problem last year for them throughout the regular season and the playoffs. It came through, and Janmark, Fogle, and Connor Brown, who Cody just said, is in our nightmares. Oh my gosh! But
with Caesar's question, I would also put Connor Hellebuck in the MVP.
Yes, I actually want to point out what Jack said right here. All the talk was that Edmonton won the offseason.
I think no, Nashville was the one who won the offseason.
Yeah, but everybody's like,
I was going to say there was a big talk about Nashville adding Stamkos.
Well, yeah, but everybody was talking about, look at the value Edmonton got with Skinner and Ardvinsson. They're going to be so good. Jeff Skinner, this. Now they're talking about trading him, right, to make cap room.
Let Jeff Skinner see a damn playoff game.
I don't think they're going to move him.
Oh, we got a question here. Hey, guys, I have a question. Do you think Zito gets Jack Devine to sign his ELC? And if Zito doesn't think Devine will, would you use him as a trade piece this trade deadline?
I think he's a very marketable trade piece. I just want to add off the top with his name value, Cody, I think. And where you've drafted him, was he sixth round?
Seventh round.
So that's a whole Levi situation.
Do I think he's going to sign his ELC? Yes, I think he will. Because him and the Panthers have seemed to have had pretty good communication over the years. Like Devine has said his ambition to finish his degree. And Florida has been very supportive in that whole ordeal. But if he doesn't want to sign it, you can always trade.
Cody, are they going to sign him to the ELC and burn the year like they did with Mackey? I remember getting into it with Jamie and one other character that you know, Nick, and they're like, Kirby, there's no way they're signing that. We're not going to win. That was 2 years ago when we were just participating in the playoffs playing Boston, and they signed him there and he became, like a black ace and traveled with the team there.
I could have sworn, when did he sign his deal? In the Cup final?
No, it was like right before the playoffs started.
Yeah. Because Michigan was out then or done or whatever.
Matthew in the chat, is that a Marlins hat? Yes, it is a Marlins hat because I'm a Marlins
their fan fest today.
It was a damn disgrace.
So bad. They tried telling us that 18,000 people showed up. I'm like, there's no way 18,000.
Maybe on the stream, if that.
Hey,
we got more on our stream.
Let me get this live. Bruce Sherman, sell the damn team. You broke bastard.
So, going back to the Draisaitl question, guys, who do you think is our MVP on our team right now?
Sam Reinhart. Next question.
Reinhart.
Who else are you putting there? Reinhart.
Yeah.
It's Sam Reinhart, and then Sam Reinhart again, and then Sam Reinhart again. It's like I said last basis, he could be making 10 and a half, and he's still worth it.
Jack said recently it's Kachuk. Which if he decided to play like that all year, right? It's like
I
I don't know.
mean,
He just has
I
these.
guess I can kind of agree with Jack there. I mean, the game there, Reinhardt ended up leaving because of that knee-on-knee collision. Um, you know, Florida ended up winning that game anyways.
That
So
was Anaheim, though.
yeah, you're right. It was Anaheim, but
If it was like, a playoff team, I'd be a little bit more impressive. But
as far as
How
like
many points does he have in his last 12 games? He's like averaging 2 points per game over his
ever
last
since
12.
the White House visit, I saw this on Twitter. He has like 7 points since the White House visit.
okay.
Like,
Yeah, but he was even like really like on a heater before then. We got a comment here.
I like that because I think Matthew's there in the chat.
Is
So.
Zito-
Okay, yeah, he just brought it up. And I'll get to that in a sec. But it's you boy says if Zito gets Dobson this deadline, I would be through the moon. I think that would be.
I am with you, boy. I've been on Dobson before any of these rumors came out that he was available. You guys know this, Cody and Nick. I said we gotta have our eye on him. People like that's unrealistic. That's when I was mentioning Yossi, Dobson.
Right.
Like,
yeah. And then there was,
why is he not signed there when everyone else is signed? I'm like, this is a Matthew Tkachuk situation. Why is he not signed? And now we're hearing what he doesn't like being on the island. Just saying.
because the island has they keep getting these damn defensemen. They have like 1,000 of them.
Cody, why is he the only guy that wasn't signed? Forwards D, they have like 12 guys
Because
locked.
their GM's an idiot. I don't know what you want to do.
I saw a thing with Brock Nelson, and I actually tweeted about this when Kirby you posted some of the questions for the previous episode, and they were talking about somebody asked, I forget who it was, what would you think about Dobson? What would you give up for him? And I'm like, well, it really depends on what happens with Brock Nelson. But
Would you give up Bennett as part of the deal?
Well, what I said, would I be willing to give up? Bennett, a first, a prospect like Erickson or Sachin. If they need Mackey, then I'll do it. So
I think that's way too much.
I don't think so. I think when you're getting a number one defenseman, and this guy will be our number one defenseman.
How old is he?
25.
25.
Okay.
Runs a power play. Like, I agree with what Kirby said. I think he has the size and frame to really, if he buys in, just be an absolute great fit. Everybody remembers how high I was on getting Noah Hannafin last year. I am triple that on getting Noah Dobson.
Because Noah Hannafin was a solid number 2.
No, I think like you have Dobson, especially with what I feel we could do.
You were pretty excited about Hannafin.
Because the thing, like, Caesar, are you saying that giving him Mackey's too much, you said?
Yeah, giving up just Mackey and Bennett. And
well, Matthew said, I don't want to give up worth anything.
First round pick too. I mean, because what did we give up for Reinhardt?
That's two different. This is two different things, though.
Levi in a first.
Levi in a first, but Reinhardt he wasn't nowhere near the stature of Dobson.
I wanted to
but
say
he
to
was
Matthew,
playing in Buffalo.
Matthew said, I don't want to give up anything worthwhile that helps us win a cup. I'd argue having Ekblad, Forsling, and Dobson as your top 3 defensemen gives you just as good a chance to win a cup this year as having Forsling, Ekblad, and Bennett. And if you're going to lose, I'd be willing to forfeit the 25 to 35 games, whatever it is, 45 games we have left of Sam Bennett, including playoffs and that, if we go the distance, as opposed to losing him the offseason for nothing and getting our future number one defenseman. And again,
but Kirby made
you're going to have a good chance to get a cup this year if you get Dobson, regardless of Bennett's on the team. It might be different, but having that type of defense core versus having Forsling and Ekblad and maybe getting one of these depth guys and also having Bennett, I just think, listen, I don't think you lose too much this year if you get rid of Bennett for Dobson, and I think you gain much more in the long term. So
25 years old, right shot defenseman, number one power play, 23 to 25 minutes a night.
He's a big guy too.
He can win you a game.
If you're Zito, because we all know Bennett's agent loves to get his guys in free agency. If you're Zito, close to the trade deadline, and you know for sure you're not going to be able to sign Bennett because of his agent, because he likes to have his guys out in free agency to get paid more. Do you pull the trigger on this?
Cody?
Wait, say that one more time.
So knowing, let's say you're Zito,
Mm-hmm.
his agent comes to you. He's like, okay, we've talked about this. You gave us a good offer, but I think we're going to trust free agency, because we all know his agent loves to get his guys in free agency and get paid a little bit more. Do you do what it takes to get him, to get something for him, or do you keep him on the team?
I'm not trading Sam Bennett except for like a Noah Dobson level player.
It depends on what my offer. It depends what I'm getting from the offers.
And plus, I'm just going to say this: if you would have asked Panther fans prior to the Matthew Tkachuk trade if Weegar or Huberdeau,
They would have voted 87% no.
Yeah, right. So
and I'm not going to lie, I was one of those guys.
I mean, look,
so I'm not going to lie. But
Bennett,
that's because Caesar, it's nothing against you or against the fans.
No,
they don't know who Matthew Tkachuk was.
Exactly. I was going to say
they're not staying up watching him. Dobson,
you
people
definitely
know who he is.
Yeah, okay. You love this trade because you live up in close to Calgary, and you see.
That's not why. That's not why.
I do want to say a couple things. There's been there's a lot of comments here.
Let me just post this one real quick. Panthers do not win a Stanley Cup without Sam Bennett. That is true. They don't win the Cup last year without Sam Bennett.
Is that to say that we're not going to win a Cup ever again?
But here's the thing. He was probably
the team we went to one last year.
Let's think of the reason. Let's see this. Barkov was better than Bennett. Bobrovsky, Tkachuk, Reinhart, Verhaeghe. That's 5 guys.
You could argue Lundell.
I'm taking Lundell. I'll argue that to my death, because
now we're in the 6-7 range.
Lundell was so key in the back half of the Lightning series and the start of the Boston series.
Because Bennett was out of the lineup, Bennett.
Because Bennett's best series was the Rangers series. That was the best one. Oh wait, Forsling was better.
Ekblad, debatable.
Forsling was better, but
Ekblad was our your boy. Ekblad was our second worst defenseman.
Verhaeghe, Barkov, Reinhart, Tkachuk, Forsling, Bobrovsky, then arguably Lundell.
And push Bob way up the list if you're ranking this.
Yeah, I'm not ranking. I'm just saying the players that I think were better. That's at least 7 guys better.
Because
I'm kind of with Matthew on this one. Maybe just because I feel like Bennett brings a lot more than just points on the ice.
But then what do we do in 5 months when he's gone?
I mean, that's the chance, or that's the risk you're willing to take to get another
I don't
cup.
think getting rid of Bennett for Dobson is as big a hit to our Stanley Cup chances this year as people think, and I think it definitely makes us better long term. And you know what? If you sacrifice a year where we're still going to have a pretty good shot, if we lose in the conference final but we get Dobson for the long run, I don't think Sam Bennett would have made a difference.
But
I guess
the problem I have, Caesar, is people are, if they're saying no to Bennett now, I know in the future they're going to say yes, Cody. I know they are. Listen. I know what's better for you. I'm your parent, so eat this. It's good for you.
Okay, question.
I know this.
Is Dobson better in the locker room than Bennett? Because I'm more of a culture guy. I'm more of the guy in the locker room doing. We don't see that, all these.
To what extent?
What is he doing in the room?
And then again, he's gone in 5 months. And if we don't win the cup with Sam Bennett this year,
it's a sunken asset.
It's gone. He's gone, and we wasted this opportunity. And again,
they asked us.
Kirby, then I want to ask Kirby this question: what do you think the chances are of us winning a cup with Bennett versus without Bennett and Dobson?
Well, if we lose Bennett,
great question.
Very close. It's going to be hard to get to the cup and win the cup this year after going to 2 long runs. I don't think that matters with Bennett.
But here's the thing: I think it's already hard enough as it stands.
And I don't going to take us over that hump.
I don't think so. I don't.
Dobson.
If it was
if you're improving the roster now,
and if it was last year, I'd say don't
I would say 2 years.
Hannafin, I'm like, don't trade anybody. Keep the team. Just add, and we'll see what happens.
But that's because Bennett and Ekblad, they had another year. So that's
Well,
easy.
I'm talking about with the Montour Forsen, because remember,
No, but no one wanted to move. Not that I knew, or Reinhardt. People
well, there
did not.
was talk of that with Hannafin, remember?
But
And
people
Gensel.
wanted to move one of those three. I don't remember that.
Well, there was talk of moving Hannafin or Gensel.
See,
When
this is what I was gonna get by. It's this is a great question. What right-handed defenseman is hitting the free agency other than Ekblad that would be the level to Dobson?
None. He's a top
Okay.
10, top 12 guy in the league.
like this guy will
Neil
in
Pionk.
our system, the type of skill set that Noah Dobson has on this team in Paul Maurice's system will be up for Norris trophies. He will be top 5, top 6, top 7 Norris trophy. That's how good this guy is.
A huge body. What is he, 6'4"?
And he also said, who's a center that's also on the level of Bennett? I got a couple. Well, you have Matt Duchene, UFA. You have
Just as long as you can sign him less than what you would pay Bennett.
But here's the thing: we don't need to replace the physicality of Sam Bennett in the same exact second, third line center spot Sam Bennett fills. You could fill that physicality role on the back end with a couple of defensemen. Kirby's mentioned. Take a look at Vegas. You take a look at the blue line they had when they won the cup. When they beat us, McNabb, Whitecloud, Pietrangelo. I mean, big, heavy defensemen that could move the puck. That's the type of defense that I think I'd like to build. And if you have that, you go get a physical bottom 6 forward and a heavy back end. I think it evens out. It's not going to be the same, but it's still going to be effective.
And down
it
the
doesn't
middle,
need to be the Lomberg and Bennett on the forward core. It could be a Whitecloud and a McNabb on the back end. And that's just an example. I'm not saying
down the middle, Vegas wasn't particularly nasty because they went what? Eichel, Stevenson, Carlson, Waugh.
And I think if you have Barkov, Lundell, and I'm not saying Lundell's as good, a Losterinen, I mean, that you're telling me that's not good enough.
Guy with a little sandpaper and grit.
Like, take a look at what Vegas did last year with Hurdle. They got Hurdle. They didn't get rid of anybody off their roster, but they prepared for the departure of a guy like Stevenson. They prepared for the departure of other guys, right? There you go, right there.
And I'll answer this one real quick. Vegas prepared for it by acquiring Tomas Hurdle because that's a trade that people, I think, at the time were a bit confused because I think what we didn't think was they knew they were not going to re-sign Marchessault.
Yeah.
Well, we might not re-sign Ekblad. So there's the other money.
And Vegas's problem is here's the thing. Vegas in Florida are very similar because they moneyball a certain position. Florida moneyballs the defense. Vegas moneyballs the goaltending.
Yeah.
They also moneyball the wingers. You take a look at the wingers they won the cup with. You had Howden, Amadio.
And they just traded Marchessault last
right?
year.
Like, you take a look at their wingers. They're not paying their wingers an awful lot. Yeah. They're paying Mark Stone, and that's it. And then they pay their centers, and they pay their back end.
They re-signed Howden like a month or two ago.
But that's, again, like Howden and Amadio and some of these other guys, Carey, they weren't making a lot when they were playing for Vegas.
So I guess, do you think it really depends on if we're going to sign Ekblad next year, that Zito's thinking, okay, if we're not going to have Ekblad next year, then I could see them possibly doing that Dobson trade because you're not going to have Ekblad next year, and then at least you can have Dobson here to get him used to our Maurice's system.
You can make moves on the forward end. Like, let's say hypothetically, Dobson comes in, Bennett goes out. You could make moves for forwards, like quality forwards, to fill in the lineup. So I like Ryan Donato. There's Jake Evans out there. There's other wingers out there. Tarasenko was mentioned tonight. I'm not saying exactly him. I don't want Tarasenko. But there are players around the NHL, particularly those top 9 wingers, center/wingers, whatever, like Donato, like Evans. Cody, what's another one?
That are out there? Donato, Evans. I'm trying to think now. Is Boston selling now? Because Trent Frederick could be another name.
Another one. There you go. Hypothetically.
Because
you can go move for guys like that. and you could get Dobson, and then you just go get a guy like that or two to fill in that third line role that you're missing with Bennett. And is it Sam Bennett? No, but I still think you have just as good a chance, maybe a little less, to win a cup this year. But in the long run, Bennett's not going to be a Florida Panther next year. I'd rather just have Noah Dobson a little bit earlier. Why people saying we can't lose a guy like that? We're going to lose him anyway.
Listen, and this is where I argue because I
If
think
we can't win a cup with this defense, we can't. And I don't think the way our cap structure works out with anybody out on the open market, with all the teams saying they're going to buy, that we're going to be able to get anybody that's really worth that while.
and this
And
is
I
the
understand we all think that Bennett's going to walk, which we really don't know 100% because
100%.
you guys think so? Because a lot of people didn't think Reinhardt was going to sign it for that deal.
Oh, no. They definitely did.
For
Why
that
don't-
deal, I mean, they thought he was going to get 9.5.
Well, we
Maybe
never saw
10.
him in the open market.
Yeah, like we like in my head, I always knew they were going to re-sign Reinhardt. That should have been the priority number one from the beginning.
But they didn't do it that way. But yes.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
But I didn't care if they got Reinhardt for 9.5. I was fine with paying that. And at this point, it still would have been worth
I
it.
didn't mind either.
But it's like,
got-
here's
Me
the
and Tony
thing.
were very
It's
much
not like there's a decision that has to be made. Bill Zito chose Anton Lundell.
yeah.
Like,
When the contract was signed, that was it.
yeah,
He
And
didn't
Do
pick
you
that
think,
contract.
Nick? Do you think that actually is the writing on the wall for Bennett?
It
It's
has
we
to
gave
be.
we
like
gave
Forsling was the writing
Yeah.
on the wall for Montour.
much
Now
like the
again,
same thing.
I know they tried to move Ekblad right after the cup. They weren't able to.
Question-
I know there was some talk
That's
about
that-
Kirby. You remember right after the cup, there was talk of Ekblad going to Detroit. There was that like little
and
whispers there.
that's what screwed over us was that 1 week in between Game 7 and free agency. Like Kirby gets on Kirby gets like on Zito a bit for this offseason, but I give him a little grace because that little 7-day period
right.
really screwed us.
I don't argue that.
And
So
And
I
I'm
know
going to
we're-
be honest with you. I think the majority part, I think Schmidt is a solid bottom pair guy. I think Boakvist is a good bottom
Yeah.
six forward. I think
and I know
Greer
we're
has been
talking a little
nice
bit too
edit-
much Panther here. We kind of get we'll get to a little bit more of the
Yeah.
other teams on what we think they might want to get. But kind of going into before we finish this topic, do you guys think Anton Lundell is expandable or not? Anton Lundell, Eetu Luosterainen.
it's
Can
expendable.
he be the one traded instead? We keep Bennett. Do you guys see Zito
Yeah, I can
doing
see
that?
that, but
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't.
I mean,
But I don't
again,
think teams value Luosterainen as much as they do Bennett. It's all about value in each team's eyes.
I'm just going to say this. It depends really on what Bennett signs for it. If it's a $5.5 million deal, they'll probably just bite the bullet and then send out Luosterainen because I'll take the $2.5 million difference on a Bennett versus Luosterainen with the cap going up.
Yeah.
However, that's not going to happen. Sam Bennett, I don't think. This whole thing with the pay cut, right? Kirby, we've talked about it. And by the way, Jack, I really wanted Dante Fabro in the offseason.
Columbus has already said they're not selling.
I know they're not
Kesselring-
set. They're going to buy, actually. But I really wanted Fabro in the offseason. I wanted him when he was getting scratched for Nashville. And I wanted him.
Utah's going to to be sellers for sure.
So, yeah, I
but
think
they,
Utah
but
will
they,
be sellers
but they
too.
have a plethora of defensemen because now Dursey and Marino
I
are
think
coming
Oli
back.
Mata could be on the move for them.
Yeah. But to me, and I got to get this once again off my chest because I can't stand it. I think Sam Bennett's impact on the team is sometimes very overrated by the fans. I really do. Because, one, I think people believe he's a big part of the identity that we're tough. He was here for for a playoff and a full season plus
Two
another
seasons.
playoff, and we were still soft. And his biggest highlight from that playoff run was getting lit up by TJ Oshie. Lit up. The identity didn't come until Kachuk and Paul Maurice got here. That is where I'm at. Like, Bennett's a part of it, yes, and he's thrived in it, but he is not the identity. And that's the part where
That's why we got Matthew Kachuk.
like you
Super
got
Marlins, don't threaten me with a good time.
I was gonna get your reaction on that.
like that's just how
Not realistic though.
like
on
I
the-
just like because I just can't stand it, and it's just like now like Lundell's been better than Bennett if you take the whole season into account. Anton Lundell has been better.
And Lundell is such a young player, Cody, and his best hockey has been in the playoffs. That is huge value for
And
me.
you
We
can't
talk about what Bennett does in the playoffs. Not enough fans talk about what Lundell does in the playoffs.
like we can't. Could you imagine Seattle trading back once? No, because he's like no. I
Kirby,
wish.
thoughts?
I just don't think the same thing. I can't be hypocritical here when I say the Tarasenko thing won't happen this spring because of what his contract is. How would the Montour thing happen now? In 3-4 years' time, if both parties want to reconvene there. But I think Zito also made his decision too. I think Paul Maurice and the coaching staff would love Brandon Montour back, but Bill Zito kind of made his decision there. And like Cody said, I get that.
I'll say this on one more on the other thing with Brandon Montour. I mean, you could just like the difference there about getting Noah Dobson. Like that's everything. Like what we had with Montour. I mean,
That's better than Keith Yandel. I
That's
would argue
better.
that's better than Brian Campbell.
100%.
like I'm gonna be honest, it's up there with like what Aaron Ekblad used to be, potentially even better. Like the skill set he has. And could you imagine this team? We've never been this good. Could you imagine a Norris Trophy talent guy on the back end?
Yeah, because you got it in Edmonton with Bouchard. He's got his faults, but you've got it with Makar in Colorado. These top teams around the league have it. The Leafs don't quite have it anymore with Morgan Riley, but these top teams around the league, they have Miro on Dallas.
Yes.
Yossi
Fox with New York, although it hasn't gone that well this year. Still, the last couple of years, Fox has been there.
Fox.
I guess the only team really that's been.
Ish.
I guess the only team that's really been contending that has a defense like ours, and I would say there's defenses deeper than ours, is Carolina. They don't have a clear-cut number one, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
And you've seen that's been an issue for them at points in time, right?
They get that flashed on them, but we don't get that flashlight on us because we've won, and then what we've done with our forwards, which has been much greater.
Hello, we have 3 superstars on this damn team. Carolina has they now have one now, but he's playing like trash. But like once again, I'll say it once, I'll say it twice. Carolina's biggest problem, and this
Leafs
is
is playing pretty well in Colorado, by the way.
Yeah, he's been really good. I did want to say on the Tarasenko front real quick, Kirby, I don't like the idea that just he signs deals and then he just gets traded at the deadline. Like, is this just going to be a recurring pattern, right? It's like, if you really wanted to stay with us, you would have signed a deal and you would have signed.
And you saw all the other things that didn't work for you. Especially
and he hasn't been good this year. He really hasn't been good.
And
so unless
but he hasn't.
And it's a 2-year deal. It's just I'm not a huge fan. I get it. It could. I'm not 100% opposed to it, but I think there's better options.
He's been playing better of late, but yeah, he seems to be the odd man out, according to Elliot Friedman tonight on Saturday Night Headlines as of this recording. So again, yeah, I just don't like the fit there because of the contract.
No, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, I didn't think a problem we would have is all of our fans becoming emotionally attached to every single player on that cup-winning team.
I mean, I wasn't attached to really at Montour. We all knew Kirby and I knew, or a lot of us knew Montour was going to go.
I'm going to be honest with you. Like, even like Lomberg going, like,
yeah, we all knew. We kind of see the writing on the wall.
Kirby, we were talking about this last night. I don't really have a guy that I'm like.
Maybe there's one guy that I probably would have loved to have, and Kirby and I kind of on the same page on this is Stephen Lawrence.
Yes. That I don't understand why we
I was more Stenlin, but
yeah, it is the cup. But here's the thing: I'm not gonna I'll always like those guys, but I'm not gonna be like, oh man, I don't want to trade him. We did win the cup with no. The only guy, or only 3 guys that 2 guys that I'm mostly attached to on the scene: Barkov, Ekblad. That's it.
It's gonna take a while to get that that thing off the front of the building. That thing off the front of the building. When he goes,
what's he gonna do when Ekblad's gone next year?
He's gone next year. Boy, it's gonna need everybody.
Here's the thing. When it comes down to it, if we don't acquire Dobson, we may be in a position where we may have no choice but to re-sign Ekblad.
Well, I know, and I don't love that. But
Like
what are you
Barkov,
gonna have to
Reinhardt,
do?
Kachuk, Forsling, Lundell, Nyberg are the only players I'm attached to because those players are the core.
I will say this. I think the one
Kind of
player
with you. I'm
I
with
think
him
the
on that
player,
one.
obviously, I'll be sad to go. And I'm not talking about Barkov, Kachuk, Reinhardt, because it's going to be a while. For me, would be Bob. I think that would probably be it. And then Maurice. And whenever we get another guy behind the bench, I'm just going to be, it's going to be
That's gonna
terrible.
suck.
That's
because
gonna be
That's going to be bad. Like,
That's
let's not
that's-
even go there, bro.
that's gonna suck because here's the thing: whoever coach is following this, we're just gonna keep comparing him to Paul Maurice. Like,
yeah, and it's
Fans
not
that
fair
they
to the
want
next
him.
guy, right?
It's
yeah,
not gonna no.
it's like this. It's like the Alabama coach following Nick Saban. I knew he was screwed the minute he got said
that's
yes
like
to the job.
top level of that. I think Maurice is maybe somewhere in here, but that's like Nick Saban is at the peak. Yeah.
Yeah, but for us,
I did want to
Paul
add,
Maurice is our Nick
For us,
Saban.
yeah. But
Jack
we're-
did comment, why don't I want to resign Ekblad? Because he's been great this year. I just don't trust the long term. I don't think
It's just the injuries for them.
it's the injuries.
So-
Is it a
so Nick,
contract year?
Has he
would
been
you-
great this year?
Nick,
Ekblad wasn't great in the first month or two. And then he
Right, but would you guys be willing to sign a maybe 3-year deal?
Yeah, but
Mine 3-4 years.
yes,
Because
my max is 4 years, and then once you get to 5, 6, then I really start to get uncomfortable with that.
8x5. Let's go.
8x5? What? I don't know about that. I mean,
I don't know. I don't trust it. I mean, I
He's
just
young.
don't trust it, especially when you're putting that much money into something. We're going to need, especially when you have an opportunity with other defensemen on the market.
And how do you tell Ekblad to drop down the lineup in year 3, year 4, year 5 of that deal? How does that go?
And I'm
But
going to
you're
be
gonna win
honest
that
with you,
window in that
and I hate to say this. I know Aaron Ekblad's phenomenal, but like
He's never been
be
told
honest,
it's not great.
over the last 3 years,
you
has
could
he
end up
done?
moving him like
Kirby likes to try and push this high maintenance narrative.
Okay,
Yes.
but over
It's
the last
so
3
stupid. It's
over the
so
last 3
stupid.
years,
It's not,
over the
though.
last 3
He's
years,
never-
How?
always
He's
been
the
so
only guy that changed his game the most when Paul Maurice was here. He got taken off
I
the power
understand.
play.
But here's
Said
the thing.
nothing.
First
great
of all,
point by
We know
Jack
how
here.
he is. We know how he is on social media. He worries about too much shit.
I have a question over the
Because
last
he liked your dumb tweet.
Yeah, and the things about Brooks, like the same thing.
Koepka?
He's worried about the wrong things, man.
But
and
he's
the
not.
things
But
getting
he's
called out for are limitations to his game. He doesn't understand the
because he brought a traffic cone to
You
the
think he's a
parade.
smarter player than he is. You give him more credit as a high IQ player than he
over
is.
the
He
last
a lot of
3
his-
Because
yeah.
you
the
won't
last-
make him say he's high maintenance, but he's not.
over the last
You don't
3
know what high
seasons-
maintenance is if you think Aaron Ekblad's high maintenance. You have
He
no
always has
idea.
a spot on the team. He
I'm
always
just
has.
gonna let him go, Caesar, right?
Hey, where's the popcorn?
Over the last,
Like,
I
oh
agree
my
with you.
And
This
I'm
is
not even the guy that hates on Ekblad. And Nick, you know this. I don't even hate on Ekblad as much as a lot of the fans do. I don't put pylon gifs and memes out there.
I have a question. Over the last 3 seasons, has he done anything to be higher paid than Gustav Forsling?
No, I don't think so. That's what
And
I'm saying. Like, if he's gonna, like, here's.
I don't.
Why are we keeping a 3-4 defenseman then? What are we doing here?
I agree, because I'm going to be honest. I think when that drop off happened, it's going to be quick.
And I know how the fan base will be. We've already seen it, right?
Well, we're gonna get into a little break here, so we're gonna end it here, guys. Great discussion there. I really loved it.
I didn't
Yeah.
expect all that Panther talk, but the Noah Dobson stuff.
No,
but-
it's all good. It's something that we got to take a look at, especially with after 4 Nations,
Yep.
because there's going to be a lot of trade talks with a lot of teams, especially with the Eastern Conference being so tightly close. We'll see what happens. But anyways, we'll be back after this break, guys.
Panthers fever is here. Are you geared up? Caneswear in Davie is the place for all your Florida Panthers needs. They have the latest gear for our favorite NHL team. Jerseys, polos, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. Caneswear has you covered. Stop by their store in Davie or at pantherswear.com. Again, that's pantherswear, WEAR.com for all your Panthers gear.
And we're back. Thanks to Caneswear for all your Panther gear, guys. Even your Marlins gear, Canes gear. you know, they've been a great sponsor to us. We definitely love them here in Davie. And if you guys get to go to their store, definitely let them know you guys heard of them through our Cats and Rats podcast. All right, so let's kind of get going here. Our next topic here is Kirby put out a post not too long ago. Hockey Cy Young Tracker. Is there anybody that you guys see missing here from Kirby's
So
list?
these numbers are a couple days old. Lehkonen scored another one, so he's leading the way there. That's Cody likes Lehkonen a lot. I'm very surprised, Cody, by Lehkonen's numbers, goals, and assist ratio.
I try to tell you, and I don't have no idea why you don't like him. Like,
Well, he's a defensive player, but I'm surprised he doesn't have more assists within that Colorado.
but he's always around the net when they're in the ozone. He's always scoring big goals. Like, I don't get
I don't like how Bednar had used him when Evan Rodriguez was there, because again we went through film on that and things like that. They had him there, and then the guy that signed in Detroit, who was it now?
Who, Comfer?
Yeah, JT Comfort. So they were using him kind of in that same situation that Lehkonen was. And this year, Lehkonen, this is his career high. I think he's up to 24 now. He's never reached these numbers before.
Anybody remember the original Panthers Cy Young, Brandon Fury, 22 goals, 2 assists. What a legendary run.
Did he finish the season that way, or that's where he was at?
I could check right now if you'd like me to.
Because I want to think of other names. I thought Cody would have some for us tonight that were former Cy Young type players there. More goals than assists, where you could win the Cy Young in baseball by that assist number has to be
22 goals, 2 assists in 49 games for the Panthers in 2014-15.
I believe playing on the second line for us, some third line that year.
But I remember his patented shootout move, just come in, fire at 5-hole. He couldn't stop it.
I just remember when his stick flew into the crowd and goalie was like, "That's such a hot stick," or whatever.
Yeah, like this Ovechkin, I kind of left him off because he's starting to.
Ovechkin's got a lot of assists this year.
He's got more than enough to not be on this list. So he was my cutoff point. There was one other player as well. So those were the names that I included in there.
Here's a little question from Jack for us.
Chris Kreider's numbers are wild.
Who's the best middle six player in hockey?
Ryan Donato.
So middle six, so second line, third line?
So yeah, you can constitute third line.
Is it? I think more utility, can play mainly third line, but could play second.
I'm gonna have a guy in Washington that was on their fourth line. Should be maybe higher. Mangiapane. I can't believe he's a 30-goal scorer playing on their fourth line. Right. So he might be moving up to that third line. I'm trying to think off the top of my.
Jack said yes, utility player. Okay, Evan Rodriguez should definitely be up there.
Yeah, I mean,
I would definitely put Rodriguez up there,
especially because you can play him on any line.
Yeah, I think Donato, a guy who can play both center and wing, and you take a look, he's got almost 20 goals for Chicago this year. That's definitely a guy. So. Rodriguez, Donato.
In hockey, you have to constitute guys that are on really good teams right now. Like a guy I like, team's not good as Tommy Novak.
Yeah, I mean,
but he's been.
I agree with what you said on Mangiapane. I wouldn't say middle six because not really a utility guy, but I think
I'm gonna go with he's a cross-state rival, but Nick Paul.
Yep, yeah, 1,000%.
I think he's a guy you can't leave off. I'm trying to think now.
William Karlsson, I would say.
Yeah, he's been hurt.
But he's been hurt. So
if you have him on the third line, that's a luxury for your team.
He used to be Sam Reinhart, but
McCann.
What he said, Jared McCann. I would think he's more top six.
Isn't he top line?
I think McCann's been more first, second line than he ever has been third in Seattle.
Okay.
Jack hates Nick Paul, so
how much I love and hate Nick Paul.
That's got to be one of the top guys that you're picking. Currently in today's game.
Yeah, Paul Rodriguez, I would definitely put up there for sure. especially guys that can play both center and wing. I think that's the
Like, I think that's above some of the guys that we've played in the last playoffs here in Fogel and Frederick. Like, Nick Paul's above.
You know, that could be a good Bennett replacement. If everybody was talking,
You
Jack
like
just
a lot.
take him tomorrow in Florida. That would be the
He's hurt currently, but you would consider him middle six. Adam Lowry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Adam Lowry.
a guy that's been mentioned in trade discussions because apparently he's going to get more than JT Miller got. Scott Lawton.
Yeah.
I like Scott Lawton.
Kirby's guy, Michael Backlund.
My guy lower down, Noah Cates. That would be more third.
That's
fourth.
my guy, but
I got more guys third and fourth.
that's my guy. Don't
My guy Wyatt Johnson is heating up, by the way, Nick. That guy's a little higher up the line.
Yeah, I know. I told you about him. I got the
Not
DM.
trading him to you.
I got the DM. I could pull it up anytime, buddy. All right.
And
You had your chance.
Blow it out
another
your ass, Kirby. all right?
another guy could play like anywhere in the top three lines. One of my more favorite players to watch, probably Stefan Nason.
Oh, that's a good one.
He's probably criminally underrated. For
Like
what-
Stefan Nason. and
Eric Holla, another guy.
Yeah.
He's higher up the lineup sometimes.
But yeah.
But yeah.
But again, like, you know, Evan Rodriguez, Nick Paul, Stefan Nason.
Could a Nick Cousins be in this conversation?
No.
Technically, I mean,
No.
but no.
No.
Maybe last year for us, but no. Yeah, I agree.
Another
2 years
one.
ago, might
Another
be in the-
one. He
No.
just got traded, but Morgan Frost, another one for me. But
That's a young guy, though, right? Like, that's going to be, I think, top six. Adam Lowry is the definition of this, I think.
yeah, but
Well, Adam Lowry, Nick Paul.
With the way
I think Evan
Steven
Rodriguez
Lawrence,
too.
what about with the way
Swiss
Steven
Army.
Lawrence is playing this year? Do you
fourth
guys see
line,
him?
not middle
Who?
six.
With
He's
who?
Steven Lawrence. I said
Lawrence.
fourth line, not middle six.
I can't put that high up with being on a PTO and fourth line in and out of the lineup, but now he's playing for the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, which it ended up being. But yeah, like Toronto's tested him on their first line this
I
year.
was gonna say, yeah, because they did play him on the first line.
Yeah. I think that is stretching it. I don't see him as an Erod, where Erod for us plays first, second, third, fourth.
Right.
Because when you say middle six, I think could play second line in a pinch.
Lundell.
Lundell
yeah.
in there for that 1
Lusto.
year. Lusto
Yeah.
for that 1 year, although I don't love it. But
Matherson.
I'm gonna throw a name out there that he went through like
I'm
cancer.
just kidding about the Matherson.
He went
but-
through a cancer scare and everything. Like,
Freaking
Dakota
Dakota Joshua.
Dakota Joshua. Yeah.
I'm not talking about like they did last year, but again, this year the Sherwoods and Cooley's praise. But I think Dakota Joshua moving forward. Wait to see what he is next year and going forward.
Yes, Jack. Thank you. This comment right here to all my friends on my group chats. Rodriguez can play on any line. He's such a great player. I don't know. There's so many people that hate him. I don't know why, but he's such
Because
a great
everyone
player.
expects anyone who comes to Florida to be a 30-goal scorer for some reason.
And for the amount of money that he
Sean
got, I
Couturier.
mean, I think that was
Uh,
a really good steal by
he's
him.
kind of fallen off a bit due to the injuries, but
Couturier, I feel so sorry for him, your boy, because of his injuries and things
yeah.
like
But what was the topic going into this again?
Cy Young.
The Cy Young.
Oh,
guys
Cy
turned.
Young.
I ain't got a clue.
I don't know how it devolved to this, but we never know what we get when
But
Nick
I don't have a clue for Cy Young. Not even. I couldn't even throw you a bone here.
All right.
I
so-
just thought it was worth looking up this week. So
Yeah.
you guys give us that in the comments on the replay, right? Your Cy Young Award
but
nominee.
yeah, I mean, so guys, after tomorrow, we have Four Nations. Let's kind of
Yes.
go over the topic, the lineups here. We're going to go with Team USA. Let's get your input on what their lineup looks like and what they're going to look like in the game one against Finland.
So we want to hear from Nick a little bit here because we did do our live this week. Me, Cody, and Ben from Wales. Thank you, Ben, for joining.
Now, for those in the chat, this isn't like the starting, like the set lines. So,
I could pull up the projected lines that they have or whatever.
but this is their lineup right now. What do you guys think of their lineup? Everybody's saying that they got the best depth on their roster out of all the teams.
I think they made some mistakes.
Thank you, Nick.
Big mistakes.
I'm gonna argue one of them.
Chris Kreider.
Incorrect.
Chris Kreider.
Incorrect.
I'm arguing with Cody on this.
I don't understand.
Incorrect. He's scoring a big goal this tourney, and you guys are going to look stupid.
I think.
Can
I'm sorry.
Who are you putting over him? Tage Thompson?
I put Tage Thompson over
Absolutely not.
I would
Like,
1,000%.
Yes,
Nah.
And you
Give
know
me
what?
Chris Kreider.
He's going to be scoring a big goal because he's going to be playing power play, right? Oh, wait. That's right. Probably not. You see the forward score? He's not going to be playing power play. I don't really know. He's going to be playing fourth line role, probably. He's having a terrible year. And look.
If Chris Kreider had problems in the playoffs last year, Nick, don't you think he's going to have problems against Canada?
He didn't even have problems in the playoffs. Are you...
He was invisible.
I'm just saying, he doesn't do anything 5-on-5. And listen.
Exactly.
Doesn't do anything 5-on-5. I would have taken Tage Thompson. Vinny Trocheck, fine.
Yeah, he's clutch 5-on-5.
I can see that. Fine. That I debate on it. There's some other guys like I wouldn't have.
No, I think Vincent Trocheck is the ideal 4C for US.
I would agree with that, but I think as far as Chris Kreider goes, I mean, a guy that's pretty poor 5-on-5.
I'll fight
if he's
Chris
not
Kreider.
playing power play. What is?
Cody loves it.
I want to see Chris Kreider and Cody in the
Cody
ring.
is holding up
I'm
Chris
fighting
Kreider's
for
numbers
Chris
against
Kreider.
Carolina the other day there. When Cody criticizes Carolina more than anyone because they don't have any star impactful players.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Canada
when it came
does,
down
Cody.
to it, Rangers were down 3-1 going into the third period, game 6. Who scores a hat trick for the Rangers to get up in that series?
It was
Chris
against Carolina.
Kreider.
And then what happened?
Chris Kreider.
And then what happened? And then what
He ran into
happened?
us.
And then what happened?
He scored a shorty
I was
against
saying
us.
stuff about Panarin, and Nick was the first one to call Panarin out before that series. He even started. Hit the bell, Caesar. I need a bell in this room. I was going to find one.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. Kreider did score a shorty on us in that series, even though we let up a shorty in every damn playoff series we played. But I'm a
that's because Kachuk gave it to him. Basically, he thought the Four Nations was at that time, not freaking next week. He gave it right to him for a takeaway.
Like the thing
Cody's fine. Cody, you said you're fine with the lineups being announced this early on. Like, come on, man. This is why some of these players are here, and the other ones.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest with you. I think talk about Canada's goaltending.
Yes,
Well,
there would be different Canada goalies here if this lineup was announced later.
Right. Yeah, I think it'd be a different team. Like Chris Kreider, I mean, I don't care what you say. He's never been playing this bad in his career, right?
Not in the last 6-7 years or something.
Yeah, he scored
he's
52 years ago. I'm still putting him in because I'm still taking him.
Who would you take out?
I'm not taking up. I think they got pretty much the forwards correct.
What do you think they got incorrect?
Who do you think is going to lead the scoring on Team USA?
I have no idea. Whoever's hot.
It wouldn't surprise me if it's Kachuk.
We
I can see it. But
which one?
Matthew Kachuk.
I don't know if you did. You guys go to the game today? It was so hilarious.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was JT Miller. I really wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. That wouldn't surprise me either. No. I do want to talk about Canada real quick.
Before we get to Canada, let's kind of go into.
By the way,
to answer Caesar's question on America, what are your predictions?
Yeah, what are your predictions? Who scores? Who's going to lead the Team USA in scoring?
I'm just going to say Jack Eichel's going to have to do a hell of a lot of work for Team USA.
And chat, you too, get in on this. What do you guys think?
Gosh, I really like Cody's pick of JT Miller.
Like, I just don't know why. I just feel like
I like Cody's pick of JT Miller. I could also see
it in this tournament a lot.
I could also see it being like some guy we're not talking about. I could see like a guy like Boldy doing really well. Or
Kirby keeps bringing up Eichel. Like Eichel's gonna have to do a lot of heavy lifting. He's the 2C
on the film.
He's the 2C in this situation.
He's gonna have to do everything offensively, defensively.
Yeah, I think
you just can't depend on Matthews.
I think Matthew, Kachuk, and JT.
Yeah, the same way your defense is gonna have to block every shot.
Cody's gonna be very in for a rude awakening in this tournament, I think.
Well, if they're not blocking shots, then oh man, it's going in the back.
Guess what? Shooting gallery. Binnington.
You think USA is gonna have the puck a lot more than they are, Cody? You're gonna see. Like I'm telling you, these commercial breaks are going to be very beneficial to a team like Canada, where Makar can be out there for 3 out of 4 shifts.
Hey guys, don't rule out.
Have bad goaltending. So Canada might allow 6 goals because they got bad goaltending. That's possible.
Trocheck is not no dud either. I mean, Trocheck
I'm
could
going
have
to
a
get on
really
goalies in this turn. Cody thinks I'm too soft on goalies. I'm going to get on them in this turn. I'm going to tell you what a bad goal is and what a good goal is. I'm going to tell you.
Well, based off your record on that, I don't know if
Yeah,
that's
no,
Hellebuck's allowed a lot of bad goals.
there you're not. Are you going to get your Bob bias out this one, too?
And Cody's not going to like this because Cody's not an Oettinger guy. So if Hellebuck falters like he does in the playoffs, they're going to Jake Oettinger, Cody's guy.
save the
go to
receipts,
smart
guys.
at that point.
Save the receipts.
Yeah,
They're going to Swayman before they're going to Oettinger.
they're not, Cody.
Cody hates Oettinger, right?
So much.
He had
It's
one
stand
good
up.
Through the pipes. I
Like,
want to see Hellebuck get
No,
pulled in.
you guys he had one good playoff series, and you guys crowned him, and he.
Well, I'm not. I think he's good. I don't think he's like.
And back-to-back years, he got out
He was
goaltended
not good in the Seattle playoff series.
in the Western Conference Finals. He got out goaltended by freaking Aiden Hill.
Technically, Bobrovsky did too in the cup.
But we were so
Technically
bad.
speaking, I don't think any of us in the
That's where
comments
Bob
section
became
here want to
human.
relive that, though.
Right?
Why is Kevin Lincoln in there? Now you say Saros. This is
I don't
stupid.
know. This team is probably screwed because Nico Mikkel is their number one defenseman.
Nikola.
Yeah, I was joking with Kirby the other day. I'm
Their
like,
second pair is Oli Mata, Rasmus Ristolainen. Like
I was joking with Kirby the other day.
Only
Is like,
Mata has a good
is Mikkola going to be coming back from this tournament, ripping bombs from the blue line
You know,
on the
it's-
power play?
power
Yeah,
play.
you-
I want to see Nikola power play.
You know what's funny?
Oh my god.
Like, we were talking to Carly and Lex on Space, and they're like, "Oh, we're worried about like Barkov and Kachuk." I'm worried about Mikola's ass.
Yeah,
Like,
I am. I'm really worried about
like-
Mikkola.
Like, I'm not worried about Forsley because he's going to play like probably right at like 17 to 20 minutes. Bro, Mikola is playing 23 to 25.
This is oh my god.
And against the best of
Everybody
the best.
got hurt. Everybody got hurt.
And
I
this
think they had 3 Finnish defensemen got hurt.
and Rantanen's hurt now, and he's like, and here's the thing, like this team screams hard to play against on the forward front, and then once you get past the forwards, it's like it's like a Lego wall right behind it. And then like once again, Lankinen being there is really stupid. Like it should be Saros. I don't care how bad of a year Nashville's having. Saros is not the reason why they suck. Mikola turns into Victor Hedman and leads the demon of points. I would actually.
He's going to be facilitating on the blue line.
If
Oh my
Mikola,
God.
We have a
if-
Hedman on our team. His name is
if
Mikko
me-
Mikula.
if Mikola turns into
Mikola.
Hedman, we don't need Noah Dobson
We
anymore.
don't need, we'll lay off the defense names on our post game show. We won't bring it up anymore.
Right.
Like
We need a depth guy.
this is the best Finland can do. I mean, they
That's
like,
not laying off the names, Kirby.
like Barkov.
So-
Like you think like Eichel's gonna have a lot of heavy lifting. Barkov's gonna have every ounce of heavy
Barkov plays
lifting.
defense in this tournament.
Yeah, he does play defense. I mean, you could even see him
the
play.
defense.
I wouldn't be surprised if they put him on the power play up on the
My
point.
only gripe is why is Rope Hansen the third line and Eichel in line?
They might not play a defense on the power play, like Caesar mentioned.
I mean, they got Lindell. He plays really pretty good defense.
You could say
Barkov-
that about every forward except for like one.
Yeah, that's in the Finnish DNA.
Yeah,
Going back, Caesar 30,
Like
40.
the only Finnish player right there that I don't trust defensively is Line A.
That's the only one. He's the Albert.
Like Ranson is good defensively, Lekin is good defensively, Teravainen is good, Kakko's good, Granlund's good, Hintz is good, and we know Lundell and Lusto are good. Like,
Yeah.
But I mean Finland.
hey,
I think Laine gets
Dak
this-
makes a good point here. We might not need to acquire a
Like,
defenseman.
but Fin,
Yeah,
but
we're just going to need a center. Maybe we could re-sign Bennett then.
Right.
yeah, but Finland, you should just read my T-shirt. Y'all gonna need Jesus this tournament because
only-
that's the only way y'all gonna win.
with Miro out is if Saros, and I've said this before, Barkov are the number 1 and number 2 best players, not for their team in this tournament, then they have a chance of winning the championship. That's the only way I think.
I hate to
So-
say this. They
so
got no
in-
shot.
Looking at the rosters here, do you guys think they're going to finish third or fourth?
Probably fourth.
I'm leaning 4th now. I hate to say it because I wanted to see a lot of, not just because they have the Panther players on here, but I really like.
Let me just say this right now. It wouldn't shock me if Sweden's gonna finish fourth.
That one shocked me. No.
I think they have pretty low floor, high ceiling. Sweden. I feel like they could
Yeah,
finish pretty much anywhere.
but Finland
More
has
than
the,
Finland?
Yeah, anywhere.
but
Sweden, I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
Sweden.
but Finland is by far the lowest floor.
Yeah, I would say.
But,
Yes, the lowest floor.
But next
Again,
line-
they have a surprising ceiling if Saros stands literally on his head.
Yeah, and here's the thing: the Miro thing really hurts. I really think they could have done something like Miro. If
yeah, here's the
these
thing.
are all, you know.
But Kirby, like, I don't even think Saros needs to be JS Jaguar level.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. Yep. Not Audinger.
Standing on head.
Not Audinger against the Flames. That was
But Audinger was good against the Flames. It's just he wasn't JS Jaguar level.
yeah, there's a level to that.
Like,
Yeah,
for those,
somewhere between Jaguar and Audinger, I'll say, because if Barkov's is one of the best.
I
players.
put Bobrovsky before I put Jaguar.
Okay.
Like, hell,
I mean,
Vasquez.
like, all right.
And now kind of going
Gustav
into
Forsling next to Kirby's
Eric
guy.
Carlson.
I can't wait to see
I'm watching that.
Kirby. That could be our future #1 pair for the Panthers.
Once again, these idiot writers get the goalie wrong. It's got to be Allmark. Are you kidding me? Like
Cody, I'm using this image because it looks good on the screen. I didn't look at all the lines.
I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the guy who made this thing.
I'm just looking
It should be Allmark.
I think this team they could
Is
either soft, yes.
That's the big.
Okay, but
They got a
since
lot
you
of
guys are
talent.
saying soft in this type of tournament. Do you need to be physical?
It's not going to be
You
an
don't need to
all-star
be
game.
physical, but you don't like. But soft is like, just like Olay. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Take that hit.
like
I think again, like I just said, I think they could finish anywhere. I could see them playing in the championship. I could see them being #4. I mean, really, like Cody says. I mean, I'm not sure how the tournament.
I could see them in the championship against Canada or USA in Boston.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be. I'm not 1,000% sure because I'm not really sure how this. Like again,
I think Sweden needs to beat Canada 5-2 in the first game, and it's possible to have a chance in this tournament.
catch them off guard a bit.
Yes.
Remember, 2 losses basically makes you lose a chance of even
But
playing in
Sweden
the final.
out of the gates, and they need to beat Canada. It's the first game of the tournament. Beat them 5-2. Goal differential, that regulation win, all that stuff, whatever it comes down to.
These 4
Because they
games,
could lose to Finland, I think. Sweden could lose to Finland.
true. Now, these games, I think, are really going to depend on the goaltending, in my opinion. I think whoever has the best goaltending in these games is going to come out on top.
How much do you think the Markstrom injury hurts them?
it hurts him a bit, but I think
Yeah.
when you have Allmark behind him, I think you'll be all right.
Yeah.
But even though Allmark's playoff record has not been the greatest, but granted, he played the one against us, battling a debilitating injury. So we'll see.
Yeah, I just don't like the softness of the forwards from Sweden there.
Especially the top 2 centers, like the bottom, like the 3rd and 4th line center, like and on this graphic, Eriksson Ek and Leo Carlson, I actually really have no problem with. Zibanejad, the year he's having, and Pettersson, the years he's having, that's really the big question.
You said
mark.
Carlson, Leo Carlson, you got no problem with?
I have no problem with Eriksson Ek and Leo Carlson.
Leo
Where they're
Carlson's
at.
really young to be put on this stage. I think
Well,
Ek,
I'm very high on Leo Carlson.
I think
Elias
Ek
Pettersson,
got to do heavy lifting.
Elias Pettersson and Mika Zibanejad, they've had really bad years. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, normally any other year with how good they can actually be.
Yeah, in a long tournament.
Yeah, like I think it could work. But the thing is, it's like this year they're probably having some of their worst seasons in their career.
But you're praying that William Nylander
just goes off.
Yes.
Yeah,
And Philip
he has to
Forsberg.
be nice. And how much percentage chance do you think that PD's going to have a chance to be the best player in this tournament?
I don't think it's likely.
Less than 3%.
Yeah,
Like, that's
I'm going to be honest with you.
Defense
I
has
think a guy like Kempe might be better than him.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
And
not. I don't think they'll get the like. Are they going to win on the backs of Adrian Kempe, Eriksson Ek, and say you guys
Philip-
want?
I think Philip Forsberg.
But Eriksson Ek's
Yeah,
hurt
Carl-
too, so I mean,
I
we
think
don't
Philip
even know.
Forsberg and Nylander are going to do a lot of the heavy lifting. I think Kempe is going to end up being better than Zibanejad and Pettersson. Now, if
Those three guys.
Zibanejad and Pettersson show up and play to their
Well,
potential, then it's a different story, right?
Yeah, and
So-
those other three guys that you mentioned.
But I don't see that happening. I think it's less than 5%.
They need a lot to go right up front.
Like, I don't think Mika or Pettersson will be one of Sweden's top
Unless
three
they're getting
players.
4 or 5 power plays and they're just lighting it up in the short term and on the power play.
Right. But again, I just don't think Mika or Pettersson, I don't think they'll be top three for Sweden.
So
I
for
don't think,
Sweden to even have a chance, what kind of style do you think they would have to play to?
like Kirby just said, power play. They're going to have to get a lot of power play chances and
So
just.
special teams is going to be a big key for them to succeed to advance.
Yeah, they can kill penalties with Backlund, Eriksson Ek, right, guys? But special teams would be key to them. And then obviously, not every solid goaltending goes without saying timely goaltending, timely saves. When their defense does break down, which again I'm not high on, for certain reasons and obvious reasons. So again, timely saves.
It's because of one damn guy. Just spit it out.
Well, we're going to honestly see this Gustav Forsling when he's with someone like Erik Karlsson. And I'm going to give you credit here, Cody, versus playing with a guy like Aaron Ekblad that's a little bit more of a stabilizing, obviously, force back there, defensively speaking.
All right, but next up, last but not least,
Kirby's team.
Kirby's
Oh.
boo.
Kirby.
I'm gonna boo your national anthem like you do ours. Boo.
That's last week.
So there is news, obviously, about Crosby.
Oh yeah, and by the way, Drew Doughty is now into the Four Nations tournament. Elliot Friedman has reported.
Yep.
Perfect.
There is question about Sidney Crosby's availability, but we'll say for the sake of this.
Hold on here.
So Brandon Montour's out now.
Hold on.
So he's not going to be in it since he got hurt tonight. I think Kirby's a little sad on that.
No, Caesar. No, don't mention that. Okay, what we talked about last week, you told me to rank the players, and I put Drew Doughty number 1, Caesar.
Yes, you did.
It's on the record.
Yeah.
So I'll just say this right off the get-go. I like the forwards a lot better than any team in the tournament, especially in America.
And then you get to the defense and
then you get to the defense at the goaltending. Then it becomes outside of Makar and Taze. And
Why do you criticize in the defense?
I don't really see anybody that scares me on the defensive side either.
Outside of Makar and I like Taze and Theodore, but I just feel
I like Makar, Taze, Theodore, and then the other half are very just.
They're not
and then
gonna
Doughty.
be on the ice, Cody. They're not going to be on the ice.
What do you mean they're not going to be on the ice?
Doughty, Makar.
You know who is going to be on the ice though? Aiden Hill, and that's your first
scratch Sanheim, throw in Doughty.
Sanheim and Parayko don't need to play much minutes.
What do you consider much minutes? So you're just going to run Makar into the ground?
What John Cooper's thinking with Sam Bennett on the wing. I don't really. He doesn't do that. So I don't know what the plan is there, but yeah. I mean, the forwards you take a look at guys like Point, Reinhardt. I'm not even going to talk about Marner, by the way. But just McKinnon, McDavid, Point. Oh my gosh, it's they could come in waves. But then again, I could see them out shooting most of their opponents in the goaltending. Just they could be out shooting opponents 35-21 or something, and it's 4-4, right? So we'll see. But I think
a team in Canada that can play 5-on-5, and if it's a special teams game, very versatile.
But again, I really like
Kirby. Do you like Marchand playing on Reinhardt's line? I know these aren't the set lines, but
I don't really like
Marchand. He could be far down the line.
I'm not a fan of stacking the first line like that.
I also think, what are your guys' opinions on potentially Marchand being on a fourth line? And I could see
that's what he should be. He shouldn't have even been the first 4 in.
Politics aside, I don't know. And some of the names that are there, how they're building the team, I'll be a little surprised if he's way down the fourth line. Third line would be ideal.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm going to be honest with you. I take pretty much almost anybody, maybe almost any one of the forwards over Marchand, especially what he is now.
If Crosby's playing, which I believe he will be, third line of Crosby, Marchand, and pick the other guy.
Do you think Marchand plays? But do you think Crosby plays down that far?
Yes. If you're playing down the middle of the ice with McDavid and McKinnon split up,
you could do McDavid, McKinnon, Point, and then have Crosby on the wing. But I don't. Or you could.
I understand that's what you would do, Kirby, but do you think the coaching staff is going to do that?
There's a lot of options here. There's a lot of versatility.
Talked about this earlier with guys that don't buy in and stuff. Crosby will buy into a third line.
But like
Okay.
Marchand, like they left off so many better players by putting Marchand in that. Like Robert,
But how do you separate Marchand from the Bennetts, Konechny's, Jarvis's?
like Canada just but Canada used the same formula like for the Four Nations as they did the World Juniors to make themselves harder to play against. This is exactly what they did. That's why you have the Martian. That's why you have the Bennett. You have the Konechnys.
But they have that because of the World Cup too in 2016, and it really worked. I kind of doubted it at the time, Cody. You didn't know me then. I kind of doubted it with like this Crosby, Marchand, Bergeron. I think they were undoubtedly the best line there. Crosby can be in this tournament and be on the best line in this tournament.
But the problem is you guys don't have the Bergeron anymore. Like that's where like another thing is.
That's
like,
not enough to make all the cards fall.
Yeah, but I question your like maybe penalty kill a bit.
I agree, your boy. If Reinhardt's not on that top line, I think he's really earned that and cemented his spot there.
Like,
especially with both of these years, the way he's playing now, like a lot of people didn't think he would have, he could kind of repeat what he did last year, and he's proving people wrong.
This is the problem I have with the States, and I've talked to Cody about this. Matthew Tkachuk can't skate with a guy like Jack Hughes. He might even struggle at times to play with someone like Austin Matthews. We will see. If you put Reinhardt with McDavid, he can keep up. And people are going to be surprised to see that. But Reinhardt can keep up, and I think Cody agrees with that.
And Maurice has made a really good point where Reinhardt is such a smart guy. He's one of the smartest hockey players he's ever coached.
Yep.
So that's one of the advantages he has to playing with speed guys as well. He knows where to be, when to be, and when to go back on the defensive end as well.
Way, somehow, whoever made this projected lineup went 3 for 3 on picking the wrong damn goaltender. It should be Binnington. If you're rolling with this, it should be Jordan Binnington.
It's your boy says, the third line should be Mark Stone, Marchand, and Crosby. I kind of agree with that. Maybe even the fourth line.
Yeah, Mark Stone's behind. Better stay on his damn skates and quit lunging at other teams' top defenseman knees.
Yeah, the goaltending, again, this has been the talk of this Canadian lineup. Obviously, I think their ceiling is first place if they get to the championship game. I think they're winning it, but they might fall short and come in like third.
Their ceiling's first, their floor is third.
Yeah, I think it's first or third. I'll be more surprised if they finish second or fourth than I would first to third. So again, that the goaltending that's the pause for concern that they might falter and fall short maybe against a game in Sweden or a certain game in this matchup that just squeezes them out of that championship with how this is going to work. You might see some exciting things, right? Got to pull the goalie, Cody, or something like that, because goaltending allowed one too many goals, and then they're going to have to like push for it. Very exciting. I think it'll involve Canada. End of these games, how close these point differentials and system works in the short term. It could be with Canada, with pulling that goalie and trying to get that tying or whatever.
But it's your voice said in the chat, no matter what team wins, the Panthers will have a Four Nations champion on their team.
I said that this week, your boy, on our post-game show, so it's really nice. Fingers crossed everyone stays healthy, but technically, whatever team wins, Florida Panther player will be coming back with those bragging rights to their room. Even if there's
Could you imagine what the locker room is going to be when whoever wins? Could you imagine Tkachuk?
Everyone in there, right?
Yeah. There's got to be
will not be in a good mood.
There's got to be a bet, no?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I think Tkachuk will be in the most sour mood if he doesn't win. Of all the guys.
Especially with how competitive he is.
We talked about tonight on our postgame. He hates to lose more than to win. Jack
and that's I love that. I really love that. And
when it comes to your international and pride for your country, I think that just magnifies it in this situation, right? Versus us bowing out in the first, second round this year. I think this would really could that be a good thing for us guys? If Tkachuk doesn't win this tournament, coming back, I'll take it. And he comes back and he's hungry.
Then he comes back with a vengeance, trying to
he's
get
like,
that second Stanley Cup.
There we go. Gustav Forsling can win it then. Gustav Forsling can win it. Him and
no.
Eric
We're going to have to
Carlson.
pay him. Oh, we already paid him. Okay.
Yeah, but
No,
I
for
mean,
sure.
it's gonna be a fun tournament. I'm glad to see best on best again.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's gonna be. I'm excited. Kirby and I are excited to do the stream. Definitely,
Like
guys.
Cody
I
said,
can't wait to chirp Kirby all week. This is going to be a fun week.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. So when we go live, you guys can hop on with us and stuff. So it's gonna be definitely a fun night there, and especially with Kachuk going against Barkov, I'm really excited to see how that's gonna be. So, anyways, guys, tomorrow is the Super Bowl, and
Oh,
we all know.
oh, no,
We all know the
no.
Cowboys. That's Nick's and I's team over here. So we're actually kind of cringing on tomorrow's game. But before we go to that, Kirby and I looked at this little
Oh gosh.
little bracket here by Michael Fabiano, and this is kind of like involves all sports. Hardest sports franchise to be a fan of. This was a bracket, and of course, Nick, who do you think?
When is it going to end? Though? That's my question. When
do you
is it
think
going
won-
to end?
Who do you think took the cake on this? Who got the trophy on this
In
one?
NFL,
The
All
Dallas
sports.
Cowboys.
All
The
sports.
Dallas Cowboys.
it should be the Marlins and the damn Dolphins.
Oh, be quiet. Oh, be quiet.
We-
Do you know the amount of text I get? We lose one game. It's like breaking
Cody
news
never experienced
all
that.
over everywhere. You can't
Never.
escape it.
I'm a Celtics fan. I get those all the
Nobody
time.
cares about the Marlins.
But does Stephen A.
Nobody
Smith go
cares.
after the Boston Celtics? Does Stephen A. Smith go after the Marlins?
Why do you
No.
guys care about Stephen A. Smith?
Because dude,
Because
you
that's
have
how-
no
that's how-
clue.
That
Just
is
one Super Bowl. I just need to see one Super Bowl to see
our
Stephen A's
team
reaction.
is on a
That's it.
pedestal.
I need to see one damn playoff win.
You had the Celtics and the Panthers, two teams. I've had one team. You had two teams win a championship in a span of 3 weeks. I don't care about your football team. I only have two sports I like. I like football. I like hockey. I don't give a damn about the Marlins. I don't give a damn about basketball. All I need, because every time, Kirby knows this, they lose a game, they miss a field, anything happens, it's the end of the world.
And
you
you know
can't
who's
escape it.
And you want to hear something funny? You know who's going to win the Super Bowl tomorrow?
Kansas City. No.
Oh my God!
Cut him
Mute
out.
him.
Cut him out. Get him off the stage.
Mute
Let's
him.
go Eagles.
Mute
What's going
him.
on
There
here?
you go.
Oh,
Mute
I'm
him.
Absolutely not. Let's go Eagles. Let's go. Come on.
Cody, gonna put some money on that, Nick?
No.
I don't know if
No.
I can pay with the American Canadian exchange rate.
Listen,
But let's take a look at the little bracket.
I am a Taylor Swift fan for one day. I'm an honorary Swiftie tomorrow. That is
There
it.
we go. There we go.
the fact that the Dolphins or the Marlins are not even in this bracket is one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in my life. Like, how does Toronto beat Buffalo?
Kirby,
How does
can you
the
answer that?
Cowboys beat
Cody,
the Jets?
big markets matter.
How do the Cowboys beat the Jets?
Because
Because they haven't won a Super Bowl, and I understand the
The
Jets
Jets
haven't won a
won a-
Super Bowl since what's his name?
Joe
Namath.
Namath.
Joe Namath.
Go
Yeah,
Namath.
but the scrutiny that Jerry Jones gets, and the
Don't get me
publicity-
started on Jerry
The
Jones.
Cowboys
Not-
were the best. It was like the easiest team to be a fan of in the bracket. They're the easiest one. The A's have moved. The Blue Jays suck. And can't get a free agent. The
But we
Tigers
suck, and
below-
everybody knows it.
below, like
But everybody cares that we
Bucks
suck.
deserve to be in there.
the Tigers.
Okay, so let's kind of go through each round. Like you
How do
agree
you
though?
guys beat the Browns? There's no way.
I kind of agree with the Browns.
Like
No.
0-16.
Kirby, we need your
And
opinion
defeated.
here because you know the pain
And
of
defeated.
Dallas being a Cowboy fan.
Yeah, I can see the Cowboys not getting past the Jets, but when you look at the Cowboys and the Leafs, it's major markets there, like the biggest markets. Cowboys and the Leafs are as big a markets as European football teams are. Like that's what you're talking
But
about.
that shouldn't be the hardest.
It does come into
You guys won a playoff game 2 years ago.
But the Marlins don't get that.
I can
I
see
was
the
at that
Jets,
game, by the way.
Listen,
Kirby.
I-
Remember everybody said Tom
how is
Brady was going to beat
Montreal
us?
in this
New York
bracket?
Jets and the Leafs.
How are the Canadians in this bracket?
That-
They have the most championships. How the hell are they in this bracket?
It's
been-
what
You
have you
guys have
done
a
for me
perfect-
lately?
Hold on.
It's
You guys
what
have,
have
a
you
perfect
done for me
season.
lately?
You guys have the only perfect season, so that should wash everything away, right, Kirby?
Yeah, if you're going
Perfect
back.
season, that matters
Oh,
now,
don't
right?
get me started
You
on
guys
that. Don't
have
get me
a
started.
dynasty in the 90s. You guys shouldn't even be on this list.
The Oakland A's were great in the 90s. They had a mini dynasty. What's your point? Jose
If
Canseco.
anybody really gets it, if anybody gets it the worst here, it's Kirby with Gonzaga and the Mariners and the Cowboys.
Mariners.
The
are-
Mariners
Gonzaga
deserve
doesn't
to be
deserve to be
here.
on it, but
The
the Mariners-
Mariners deserve to be here. I can go through each team in each bracket. The Browns should have beat you guys. 0-16. The quarterback jersey with the amount of starting quarterbacks on their back. The fact that they're one of the only teams that have never been to a Super Bowl, let alone
Do you
And
know
the
who's-
fact that they
Do you
moved
know
to Baltimore.
Cody,
They
do you
moved to
know who
Baltimore.
Steven
moved to
Jones
Baltimore.
is?
and
Baltimore
2
won a
years
Super
later
Bowl
Won a Super
before
Bowl
they-
with those
Cody,
teams.
do you know who Steven Jones is?
Yeah,
Caesar,
Jerry
take it
Jones.
away. Caesar, take it away.
The Cleveland
listen.
Browns and New York Jets, they deserve to be in the Final Four of ability here.
The Jets.
I can see that. I can
Like,
see that.
The Jets, just pure ineptitude. The Bills, 3 straight Super Bowl losses. Plus, they can't get past Patrick Mahomes nowadays. The Knicks, I could see pure ineptitude. Same thing as the Jets.
I think the Buffalo Sabres and the Washington Wizards are there. They deserve to be in the quarterfinals or
Listen,
round.
listen, yeah. Sacramento
Jays-
Kings,
Sacramento.
Sacramento, they have this. The Kings have
They were
the
screwed
big.
over.
They were screwed over, like 2000.
They were the
versus
best.
Lakers. Kirby, I don't care what your brother says. That game was rigged.
That was
No doubt
rigged.
about it.
I love Mike Bibby. Almost coached
Mike
against
Bibby gets like who got elbowed by Kobe and he got the foul called on him. Was that Bibby?
Bibby, yeah, because
Okay.
and they fouled out their centers.
Yeah.
Like,
Charlotte Hornets
foul.
deserve to be higher.
Yeah.
Pure putrid. Pure. Like we're
Especially
talking,
because Jordan owned them the majority of the time.
and he couldn't draft.
Yeah, but is it just the worst teams, or is it the hardest?
It's
Like,
the
Yeah,
hardest.
because
sports
are we
fan to
talking
be a
about
fan
yeah?
of.
Because here's the
Nick-
thing: when you measure expectations, disappointment, and media coverage, it's not
And
just
not
who's
only
the
media
worst team.
coverage, but what about the fans? Because
my
this is more of like because we all know Cowboy fans, not like Nick and I and Kirby. Cowboy fans are always delusional. Every year, it's
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is
but
our
the thing
year.
is-
This is
But
our
at
year.
least you guys have an ounce. of
Caesar, you
hope
think next year's our
every-
year?
But at least in y'all's mind, at least in y'all's case, there is a little bit of hope. Charlotte has never had any hope at any point of their franchise. Their best
Correct.
player ever was Kemba Walker in the current iteration of Charlotte. Like I'm like, and Kirby knows the Alonzo Mournings, the Larry Johnsons, like back when Charlotte could have been decent. But then the Wizards, horrible. I mean, Allen Iverson took him to the
Okay,
that's
so
the Sixers.
if there's
like-
one team in this bracket you would take out and replace the Dolphins with, which team would it be?
I think probably Montreal.
Really?
Yeah, because Philly has it. The Flyers have
You
it
know,
tough.
speaking of Philly,
The
I've
Leafs-
seen them suck, get the second overall pick,
And
draft
make the
Carson
Stanley
Wentz.
Cup final.
draft Carson Wentz, win a Super Bowl, suck again, rebuild again, get Jalen Hurts, and go to 2 more Super Bowls before I've seen an NFC Championship game.
Wow.
Dude, I've seen
Oh,
every
and I've seen Washington, the bottom, the
That
joke.
goes to show you what new
Like-
ownership does.
Hey,
Like
hey,
they
how about this?
literally, that was literally a
about this?
180.
How about this? How about this? I have seen every team in my division make a championship game before my teams won a playoff game.
Well, that's you don't get to
Okay, the
complain because you
difference-
have 2 teams with championships.
I don't care.
The
You have
Dolphins
2 teams.
The New York Jets, that's just delusion in the New York market. I've seen so many people, maybe I see it now because we're in this South Florida market doing content.
I'll argue this. The
Many
Jets
people pick the Dolphins to win the Super Bowl annually here.
No, they don't.
I see a lot. Yes, there is. There's a lot of people that pick them.
They were the favorites to win the AFC, this AFC East this year, right?
Yeah, the Tua got the
Over the
stars
last-
knocked
Hey,
out
we're
of him.
getting into football talk. Do you want to
here's
talk
the
Super Bowl?
But here, let me just finish going through
That will give us-
each team in the list. Charlotte, like horrible. Washington, same thing. The Sabres, pure ineptitude, also got screwed by the rule was skate in the crease. His skate was in the crease.
But again, the Sabres were good in the 1990s at the latter part of that decade
But-
into the 2000s. To Nick's point, you got to go back further than that for the Cowboys.
Hey, could you argue Buffalo, the Bills?
I think Buffalo has had it worse than you guys.
The Bills, I would argue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Buffalo's had it worse than you guys.
That's fair.
And the team
Culture higher up then.
and the team who should have won that bracket, Chicago White Sox, not even close.
Yeah. it's
Not
about-
even
Anyway,
close.
the
They
Dallas
just set the-
Cowboys finally won something. So congratulations
They like
to Jerry
listen,
Jones and the Dallas Cowboys.
listen,
Right,
like,
Kirby, come on. Let's see that. Let's see the clap. Come on, let's go. We know you're thrilled.
There's
But
the Cowboys.
oh gosh. Anyway,
Anyway,
the Super Bowl is tomorrow. What is it? Super Bowl
So
59?
let's get our Super Bowl predictions. Let's go down the line here, and you guys in the chat can kind of follow along. And who do you guys like in the Super Bowl tomorrow?
Okay.
Or
so
who do
let's
you think?
say-
Or who do you like, and who do you think is gonna win?
Okay,
Oh,
I'm just gonna go quick.
Whoa, Kirby, take a look at the thing on the
Hold on,
bottom of the
hold on.
screen. Kirby, take a look at the thing at the bottom of the screen. Look what he just did.
Get out of here.
Get
I'm
out of
not
here.
done with this.
Oh
Man,
my
Cody
god!
tonight, what's going on here? I'm going heart and head with Kansas City. If this turns into a blowout, sadly, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be the new Super Bowl champions. Close game, Kansas City takes it.
Okay, so Okay, I'll separate into this. Let's do this. Who do you want to win, and who do you think's going?
I just
to
said
win?
my heart.
Yeah,
and
I just
Okay.
said that.
So I think personally, gosh, I really want Kansas City to win, but I'm really conflicted on who I think is going to win. 2 years ago, I really thought the Eagles were going to win.
Do you think the Eagles are going to win if it's a close game? They don't got a shot.
No, I don't.
They
I
need to
think
blow the doors off of Kansas City in the first half.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think the Eagles would have beat Buffalo. Gosh, it's really tough. I'll go Kansas City because it's just, I don't know. I could just see it. Like they're just built for it, right? I mean, they have.
Last possession. Here we go.
okay, now for my prediction. I want the Eagles to win.
Oh,
Of course.
Mute
He just
them,
loves seeing
remove
you
them.
and I. He just loves seeing all of us be
But
in
why
misery.
would I root for Kansas City? Same conference. If the Eagles win, it does nothing for me.
You don't want
For
to
history.
I have a question. Do you
You don't
know
root
Eagle
for-
fans? Like, do you know like
I
Eagle
know
fans?
Eagle fans, yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude, come on.
They're almost as obnoxious as Boston.
If
so
Cody
it's
went
good.
to the playoff game and it was Kansas City, or sorry, the Eagle fans that said Kansas City, if they're in the same conference, Cody would have a lot of different
But,
perceptions of Philadelphia fans.
and I think
I didn't hear him say anything bad about Kansas City fans when he came back from that playoff game.
because I didn't talk to anyone.
Huh.
But
Well,
to
if
me-
Eagles fans would talk to you, they'd be in your
But-
face.
But here's the thing. I think the Eagles are going to win for one reason. Kansas City has had trouble this year in these playoffs with running backs. James Cook went off against them, had a big run. Joe Mixon had a good game against them as well. But now you're going against the best running back in the NFL this year in Saquon Barkley. And I think that's going to pay huge dividends because you go from Miles Sanders, who was the Eagles running back a couple years ago in that Super Bowl, to Saquon now. I think it's going to be a huge difference here. And
And I kind of agree there with Cody. Don't rule out the Eagles defense. They were number one in the league the whole year
yeah,
in scoring defense. So
and
this defense is no slouch. You got Jalen Carter, who's been a monster in the
Jalen
interior.
Carter, you have Darius Slay on one side, Quinyon Mitchell on the other, who's been a phenomenal rookie for him.
Right?
the best linebacker in the NFL this year in Zach Bond.
And you could even argue this. I think it's going to be under 50. This game. I honestly think it's going to be more of a defensive scoring game because when Philadelphia and Kansas City played the first time, the defenses weren't as good as they are now. Both defenses are better this year.
But the question is, but the storyline for the Super Bowl for me is one thing. Can Jalen Hurts identify the blitzes that Spagnuolo loves to throw out? Because Josh Allen couldn't do it. Because in the biggest play of the AFC Championship game, he rolled right into the blitz.
But if his tight end catches that ball, if Kincaid catches that ball, we're talking about something totally different.
It is
what a play Josh Allen.
I mean, that's just. I mean, if you're getting Jalen Hurts in that position that Allen was in, I mean,
but that's why you
desperation throw.
Yeah, but that's why you have to read the defense before you go, because Allen really should have understood, because whenever the Chiefs are in that position, they always blitz, always do. You got to know that, especially when you've gone against them with the same DC like over and over again.
Yeah.
Your boy brings up a good point there. I'm not too much worried about like the Kansas City Chiefs tying the Cowboys' legacy.
Would they actually? I thought that would only be 4.
I blame
it would
us.
Be 4.
That would only be 4, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, dude, I'm just gonna say this: if they win this, I mean, Andy Reid.
No, it'd be 5. It'd be 5.
Oh, it would be 5, right?
Dude,
yeah, because
Andy
they won.
Reid, man, like, dude, that guy, like, 4 Super Bowls.
Oh yeah, then they won.
They won one with Hank Stram way back in the 70s.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
And
which
the thing,
to everybody
to
contrary to everybody's belief, I was not around for that game.
You like that coach? How he looked dressed and how he talked.
I wasn't around for Lombardi either, everybody. So, but no, I just think I can't stand Philly. I think it would ruin my week. It would ruin my Monday for sure.
Worst Super Bowl since the Eagles and the Patriots for me.
It might ruin. Oh yeah, that was the worst.
Worst.
It might ruin the 4 nations for Kirby over here.
I'm hoping not. I'm hoping.
So
the game is until Wednesday.
I think I speak for me, Caesar, and Kirby. Tomorrow we're Swifties, and then on Monday.
But
so
again.
Real quick, let's go around. Let's get the scores.
I didn't think of that.
27-24 Kansas.
That's what I was going to exactly say that. Me and Nick.
27-24.
28-17 Eagles.
What is it?
28-17 Eagles.
28-17 Eagles.
Okay. All right. I'm actually going to go. I hate to say this, Nick, but I feel like the Eagles are going to win. I just don't think the Chiefs
he doesn't believe.
Defense, no, I mean, my heart really wants Kansas City to win, but I've seen this Eagle defense, and they look for real. And
they talked about that before, Caesar. They said they had a generational pass rush.
I'm just going to say this. I was convinced the Eagles. I was convinced the Eagles were going to win 2 years ago.
But the way
they had a generational pass rush. Jesse Palmer of The Bachelor.
Yes, remember that?
Generational pass rush.
Yes, I remember that.
But the way they have steamrolled.
They got 0 sacks that game.
But the way they steamrolled everyone going into this, because that Super Bowl, the Niners should have been in, because Purdy tore his UCL in his elbow.
Well, to be fair, they didn't steamroll. They didn't steamroll the Rams. They didn't. And I hate to say this, Washington shouldn't have been there. I'm sorry, that was like a magical run, and
Washington made so many turnovers,
and they made so many mistakes. They were fumbling left and right.
Yep.
Listen,
and I think if Detroit didn't have the injuries they had, they would be in this game.
I'm just going to say this:
Dolphin fans right now, they're making.
I remember 2 years ago,
Buffalo, if they got through that game,
I remember 2 years ago, I was so convinced Philly was going to win. Philly had the better team 2 years ago.
Yes.
And it didn't matter.
And Jalen Hurts was better than version.
But this is why I feel like Kansas City, because they're up against the wall. Everybody's picking Kansas City to win this game.
I don't know.
They're not picking Philly.
They were only a 1.5 favorite coming in.
Yeah, but
that's a bit of disrespect.
Also, unrelated, Get Jameis Winston his own TV show. I
Oh,
love that guy.
yes.
That guy
Yes.
is awesome. Get
Thank
him his own
you.
TV show.
Don't forget
Yes.
what school he went to. Go Knowles.
Let's go. Let's go.
we
Noah.
didn't get Caesar's score, I don't think.
But
No. So I'm gonna say 23-20. I feel like the Eagles
low
might win
scoring.
on the
You
late.
think they're going to win a low-scoring game?
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any way that they're winning that
But
one.
I think if it's
I think
low
they're winning like
scoring,
30
I think the
to
Chiefs
10.
win.
but you have so much bias behind that statement.
No, I just said there's no way they're winning that game. They're winning 30.
Like I think if it's 23-20, I think the Chiefs win it. I think it's like
low scoring, that close. I think
Yeah.
But see, Patrick Mahomes
Like,
hasn't
here's the thing:
faced
the
the
Chiefs
defense.
can win an ugly game. I think if the Eagles are going to win it, I think it's going to be they're going to dominate from the get-go.
Patrick
Exactly.
Mahomes hasn't faced a defense like this, an interior pass rush like the Eagles.
And here's
you're buying into that too much.
and,
Yeah.
and here's
I
the
am
thing.
because I believe because look at the Rams and
Philly's
New
gonna
England
win,
Patriots.
I
game.
thought Nick said there's a flu bug going around the Philly.
If Philly's going to win, it's going to look like how it did in Tampa. When the Buccaneers beat Kansas
Look,
City.
yeah,
It's
I
not
agree.
going to be close. They're going to steamroll them.
No, I can't wait to see this, but
But
I feel like
and
it's
every
gonna
that's
be-
other
how
one-
they beat the Eagles last year. That's what the Eagles have.
Each of the Chiefs Super Bowls, maybe except the Eagles one, has been pretty ugly.
It
They've been-
has to be like how the Seahawks beat the Broncos for the Eagles.
Yes. Which I'd be
Yeah,
depressed
but-
at halftime.
Right away, special teams, fumble, safety, all that.
But I think Mahomes is going to have at least about 2 picks in this game.
and this could be Travis Kelce's last game. I mean, he did
But-
say he doesn't really know for sure what's going to happen after this game.
And,
He is getting up in age.
and
This
look,
could be this last hurrah. And Andy Reid did say he's coming back, so we don't have to worry about that. But I don't know. I really feel like the Eagles are a complete team, other than the quarterback position. I wouldn't definitely bet against Patrick Mahomes at all. But this Eagles defense is very different. It's not as. I'm not saying they're to the extent of the Bears defense back in the day, but they're really, really good. And they had 2 weeks off, guys. And when you have 2 weeks off, the defense has a chance.
That's an edge to Andy Reid, not that clown that's on the Eagles sideline.
but
I hope you're right, Kirby. But
We'll see who's right.
it's going to be interesting to see. I think it's going to be 28-17. I think Saquon gets Super Bowl MVP. I think if the Eagles are going to win, he's going to have to get about 25 to 35 carries in this game.
So Cody, you're not going to say they're going to open up the offense a little bit more, score more points than that. They're gonna win
No,
17. That's an interesting score if you're on the Eagles.
because if the Eagles are going to win, you're going to have to do it the same way you've beaten every team this year, through Saquon Barkley.
But it sounds like they win a very patient football game, and I'm interested to see that.
Because you're going to have to play that because you can't beat.
I think you're playing into Kansas City hands if you're playing a 10.
I think you're playing in their heads if you go air raid.
yeah, I agree with Cody on this one.
Because remember, the Chiefs.
That's like the Eagles beating the Chiefs at their own game, though. That score.
but the Chiefs have just done a great job of minimizing mistakes and capitalizing on other.
That's
teams.
where if they lose, I think that's where it ends with a lot of mistakes.
Yeah,
And the
another
Eagles
key-
making great plays. The Eagles making great
Yeah.
plays.
Another key is the Eagles do have a lot of rookies playing in this game. So
Yeah,
this
that guy
is-
in the
this is
secondary
this
there,
is a
Morris,
big
I don't know.
game,
I don't know.
and we'll see how starstruck they are because you got a veteran team on the other side that's
They've
been
been-
there, done that.
And they've done all
So
this.
yeah, so
Hoopla, right?
but
Chris Jones, Travis Kelce, and this is
I
DeAndre.
think Jones could be like MVP. of
Yeah,
the-
I wouldn't be surprised if
again?
DeAndre
Jones.
Hopkins has a big
DeAndre
game,
Hopkins.
too.
I think a dark horse for that could be Pacheco.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
another dark
I,
horse.
Because they
think-
just don't know
I
how to do
don't
it
think you guys are
quarterback.
giving Kansas City enough credit on how they win playoff games. They could win anyway. They could. Like you're talking about the run game for Philly, which
We talk
is
about our
valid.
Florida Panthers. I think
But-
Florida Panthers.
but I
against
feel like
the
But here's the thing. Here's why I'm not like as high as Kansas City because I feel like a lot of their games in the regular season going up to the playoffs, they've won a game with the 4-leaf clover shoved up their ass.
I think it's championship pedigree. This you could get
Like,
the same comment for the Panthers.
I think
Well,
it's
hopefully the refs come through for us. They deliver Kansas City
What
the
a tired,
victory.
what a tired.
Hopefully,
Can we get their family members some tickets to Taylor
yes,
Swift?
exactly. Like whatever, I don't care.
The
They
plot
could,
twist is the Chiefs blow out the Eagles because they don't want to hear about the ref stuff. They're like, we told you.
and whoever America is betting on, it's probably going the other way. So we're gonna have to look for that tomorrow.
Yep.
I think it's Eagles, but guys, I'm a sign off right here. Appreciate
Yes.
it, you guys.
No
Thank you.
problem. And I think that'll be the end of the show, guys. We really appreciate it. Thanks again for everything, Kirby, Nick.
Yep.
It's been awesome. And can't wait for Four Nations. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, comment, and share. We want to get over 300 subscribers by the end of this month.
Yep.
So, anyways, it's been fun. It's been real. Let's go Chiefs. And till next time.
Till next time.
What's up, Cats and Rats fans? If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button before you head out. If you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. And just like always, let's go Cats!